Hi everyone. Today we're going to be building our own blog management system. I know obviously a blog is something we all know. It's not a new concept or construct. So we're just going to quickly dive into the project description. We're going to be seeing the functional requirements and just diving into coding proper. So I'll just read through the first paragraph in the project description and then take you guys through the functional requirements. All right. And then we could start coding. What's this? This project involves building a blog management system that allows users to create, publish, and manage blog posts while enabling readers to interact with the content through comments and like. The platform would provide a seamless experience for writers to share their ideas and for readers to discover and engage with blog posts. Here are the functional requirements. We have sign up. All right, so people can sign up, so both bloggers and readers. We have login, we have password management as well. Here we have blog posts management. We can create blog posts, edit blog posts, delete blog posts, schedule blog posts, save drafts as well too. Browsing and searching for blogs. We can also view blog posts. We can search for blog posts. We can filter by category and tags if we want to. We can like blog posts as users. Also, we can edit our profile, view author's profile. And here we have some admin features which we're going to implement, which include user management, blog post moderation, category and tag management, analytics, and reporting. So all these things we're going to implement in the project. Yeah, let's see how everything pans out. So we're going to just dive right into coding quickly and not waste too much time here. So I'm going to open up my file explorer and I already have a directory called MB projects where I store all my source codes, my source code in. So I'll just come over here, click on this. It obviously highlights this path. I'll do Control C to copy this path and I would paste it in my PowerShell environment or my PowerShell terminal. So I'll come over here and I will search for PowerShell. I'll just hit enter. That is the Windows PowerShell. All right. So I'll do CD and space right click to paste in the path and I'll hit enter on my keyboard. Now this would change directory into the MB project folder. Now it was in the test folder before, but then I've navigated to the MB project folder. So next thing is to create a virtual environment. So a virtual environment is an isolated environment or an isolated space on your PC that would store all the dependency for your project, basically. So if you don't have a virtual environment installed on your PC, all you can do is say pip, or you know what, let me just increase the font for you guys. So you do pip install and virtual env, and this would install the virtual environment wrapper for you in your PC. However, I already have this installed in mine, so I'm just going to create a virtual environment or create virtual environments, whichever one. So to create a virtual environment, all you have to do is say virtual env and the name of the virtual environment. So I'll call this not blog underscore env. Hit enter on my keyboard. And this would create a folder for me called blog underscore env that contains all the configuration files for the virtual environment. As you can see here, it's already created in my file explorer. So I'll scroll up and I will do cd blog. What am I saying? Blog underscore env. Right? So cd basically means change directory. I'll hit enter and then this would push me into the blog underscore env. So I'll do scripts backslash activate. So this is just to activate the virtual environment to let our PC know that we want to start working in that environment. And this has been activated and you can tell when you see the name of the virtual environment in brackets just in front of the path, then you can know that your virtual env has been activated. Okay, so next step is to start installing our dependencies and we're going to start with Django and basically move forward as we progress. So at this point, I would just say that if you do not understand what is going on here, if you don't have much experience using Python language, all right, I would really suggest that you look at Python course and as well as a beginner's course with Python so you can have an idea as to how Python works. There we covered most of the functionalities of Python and you'll be able to see how Python works in real time. Okay. Yeah. So like I said, we're going to install dependencies for the projects. And the first one will be Django, obviously, because we're making use of the Django framework. So to install Django, all you have to do is pip and you just say install and then Django. So this would install the latest version of Django in this virtual environment and we can start working with that version. So I always recommend using the latest version of Django in your project so you can have access to all the features and all the new features basically that comes with Django. right? Because if you're going to install things like Django 1 point something, you might have issues with so many things, right? You might not be able to take advantage of the new features in Django. And I don't even think Django 1.2 would be supported for a very long time, anyways. Yeah, so okay, so now it's done installing, and you can also check the version of Django that was installed as well. So you can say Django dash version, and this will tell you the version of Django being that has been installed. And here we have Django 5.1.7, which is the latest version of Django and the most stable version of Django for now. All right, so we're going to clear things up, and then we're going to create a new Django project. To do so, we're going to say Django dash admin and start project. We're going to call this project core. All right, so we're going to do cd into core, and it's going to change directory into the core folder or the projects folder. Now we're going to start creating apps. So to create your apps in Django, all you have to do is py manage.py, and then we'll say start app. And we're going to call the first app account. So this app would manage everything account. So you sign up, login, registration will be managed by this account app. So we can press the up arrow key just to repeat what we executed above. And then we're going to do backspace here. We'll create another app, and we're going to call this dashboard. All right, this is just to manage our dashboard for us. We'll press the up arrow key. We're going to create another app here, and we're going to call it post. So this will just be responsible for all the posts we are going to be creating, to manage every post we're going to be creating. So everything looks good. And the next thing is to open up this core folder inside of VS Code. Now to do that, you just have to do code space full stop. Now in this project or in this tutorial, I'm going to be making use of VS Code, okay? But if you have your own code editor that you make use of, that'll be fine. But as for me, I'm going to be making use of VS Code. And yeah, so I'm going to hit enter, and this would open up everything for me in VS Code, and I can start working from there. So let me make sure this is full screen. So now I have this opened up. What the first thing I like to do is to let Django know about the apps I have installed in this project. And to do that, I'll come over to core. All right, so you can see I have so before I, let Django know about the apps, we have the account app here and the files associated with the account app. We have the core. So core basically is a project, and then we also have files that are related to the project folder or the project directory. We have dashboard and files associated with the dashboard app. We have posts and files associated with the post app. Here we have manage.py, which contains management scripts to run our project basically. All right, so I'll come over to core, which is the project file or project folder. I'll click on settings.py, scroll down where we have installed apps. I will just add the apps we currently created. So I'll say accounts, all right, and then here I'll say dashboard, and then here I would say posts. All right, so we've done that. I will close this out. I'll come over to accounts. I will click on models.py. So in models.py, I would simply extend the user model inside of this models.py. So what does it mean to extend a user model in Django? Now, Django comes with an inbuilt user model that helps us to create users, update users, delete users, etc. Right? But that user model comes with limited functionality. Let me just put it that way. Now, you might want to add more functionality to the user model class. You might need to add more fields to the table, etc. And this is how you can do it by extending the user model. So to do so, you have to import the properties, or you have to import the table or the class that supports that user model. And you just have to do that from here. So you say from django.contrib.auth, the models want to import abstract user, not abstract base, but abstract user. So come here, we're going to create a class called user. And here we're going to inherit from abstract user. Okay, so creating a class here in the models.py file would automatically create a table for you in your database called user. So that way you can manage all user instances inside of your project. So we're going to say email. We're going to do models.email field. We're going to set unique to true. And we're going to say null is false and blank is false. All right. So what is happening here? So we're going to say we want to create a column in this user table called email, and it should have an email field, meaning that everything stored in this column must contain an email. What's the word? It must basically contain an email format, yes, or the format of every text stored here must look like an email. Let me just use that word. All right, so here we say unique is equals true, so which means that no two emails can be the same. Here we have null is false, so which means that there is no cell in these columns that can be left blank, or yeah, that can be left blank. Let me use that word. Here we have blank equals false, so this means that the input box in the HTML cannot be empty. So that is what this is doing. All right, so now we've extended the user model successfully. Now you can also add more fields if you want to, like country, city, gender, etc. if you want to add that, but I just want to keep things very simple by putting only email here. So we'll just close out this file, and since we've extended the user model, we're going to let Django know about this. And to let Django know about this, you have to go over to core. All right, not dashboard, core. And then you want to go over to settings.py, scroll all the way down, and then we want to do a user underscore model. And then we just want to say accounts. No, that should be in lowercase. So accounts, the user. So basically, this will just tell Django that we've created a new, or we've extended the user model in accounts, and it should just take note of that. So I'm going to close this out, and I will just come to accounts. So I'm going to create a new file called form.py. Now, form.py, what is form.py going to do for us? That is going to help us initialize forms that we are going to push to the HTML front end. All right. So just think of it like WP forms in WordPress. Before you push out a form to the HTML in WordPress, you have to come over to your dashboard in WordPress and configure the forms, right? In the WP form, whatever admin like portal or something, and then you can be able to publish that form using like shortcodes or whatever. So that is how form.py works in Django. All right. So now we're going to initialize forms in form.py and then push those forms to the HTML template. And to do that, we'll have to import some things. So we're going to say from django.contrib.auth.forms, we want to import user creation form. All right. So from django.contrib.auth, we want to import get underscore user underscore model. So this user creation form is what is going to help us to create users inside of our project. And then this gets user model basically would help us to reference the user model while creating form. All right. So we're going to say user, we're going to just to get user model. So we're going to create a class, a form class, and then here we're going to say register user form. Make sure I got that spot. Register user form, and we're going to inherit from user creation form. Here we're going to have a class meta. So class meta will just add more information to that class. So our model we're going to reference from user, all right? And then for the fields, what we want to get here for the fields is we want to get the first name, all right? And after getting the first name, we want to get the email. We also want to get the password one, and then obviously password two to confirm the password, right? Okay, so if you are a bit confused about what exactly is going on here, then you might want to see the Django documentation on forms and user model, and I'm going to leave the link very quickly. So before I continue with this, I would like to create a file to store our dependencies and also a readme.txt file to just put in links for most of the things I'll be doing here. So what I'll do is come over to my console, and here I'm just going to do pip freeze. So if I should do pip freeze and then full stop, I hit enter, you'll see all our dependencies here for the projects. So to put this in a file, all we have to do is say pip freeze, and then we're going to do greater than sign, and we're going to just say requirements .txt, and this will save all our file in the requirement.txt file. As you can see here, it's been created for us, right? So the next thing we're just going to do like a readme file. We'll come over here and we'll just say readme.txt, right? Okay, so we have readme.txt and we have requirement.txt. So in this readme.txt, what we're going to do basically here is we're going to just put in links just so you can follow through. So here we're going to say Django docs. Let me just put the Django docs link here, and I'll come over to my browser. I'll just do Django doc. So this is documentation for Django. Let this just load properly, and I'm going to put that in here. So I'll just come over here and I'll copy this. So Ctrl C to copy. Come over to VS Code and I'll just paste that in here. So you can always follow this link to get to the Django docs. And this would obviously give you more information about everything, about models, about views, about templates, about forms, admin center, security, performance, and optimization, basically everything about Django, because this is obviously the documentation for Django. All right. So I'm going to close this out. So as we progress, once I get to a place where I feel like I need to impute the link for the documentation, I'll do so just so it can be easier for you to follow through and understand what exactly is going on. Okay, so I'll come back to VS Code and I'll just close this out. And let's go back to form.py. Now you see we've already created register user form. And then we can close this out and come over to views.py. All right, so in views.py, we're going to import the form we just created. So we're going to say from this directory, import form as fm. All right, and we are going to work. So I'm not going to import everything I need. However, I'm going to import them the moment I need to import them so you can know why I'm importing it. So here we're going to create some register users, right? So this is where we can register users. So we're going to say def, which obviously is the start of creating a function. And here we're going to say or register underscore user. We're going to take in a parameter called request. Here we're going to say if request, the method is post. So if the request from the browser or if the request method from the browser is actually a post request, what we want to do is create a variable called form. And then we want to post that request or post the elements inside that request from the browser to the form. So here we can see form is equals to fm, and here we can just say register user form request.post. So this would just take in, so now this would basically bring in all the requests from the browser once the form has been submitted, and then it's now going to paste all of those text and submission to this form right here. So we're going to say if form dot is underscore valid, right? So if the form is valid, if everything is actually good in the form, here we're going to say var, and then we're going to say form dot save commit false. So saying form dot save commit false simply means that we don't want to save the form just yet because we want to do or we want to make an extra logic. So here we can just say var dot username is var dot email. So we're just saying that we want the username and email to be the same thing. And then we can now say var dot save. Here we can say messages. So again, this is like muzzle a bit memory, muzzle memory. Okay, so we need to bring in messages. So what is messages? So messages is how we get to push out alerts to the HTML. To do that, we just have to say from Django.contrib, and then we're going to say import messages. So here we're going to say messages dot success, and we're just going to say account created login, right? And we're going to return, and we're going to import something here called redirect. So we'll just say redirect. So redirect basically it allows us to obviously redirect to another page upon a successful or failed event and in a previous page, right? So here we'll say return redirect, and we want to redirect to the login page. Else, if the form is not valid, we want to say messages the warning, and we'll take in request as a parameter, and then we'll just say something went wrong here. All right, so we're going to return redirect. So we're going to redirect them back to register, which obviously would contain the register form. So we'll go back again, and here we'll say else. What have I done? I hate when this happens. It's just annoying. This whole, I have to close this out again. All right, let me open up VS Code. So here we have else. So if the request from the browser is not a post request, what do we want to do? We want to say else form is fm dot register user form. All right, so we're going to create a context, which is going to be a dictionary. And here we're going to bring in form as key and value pairs. Here we're going to say return, and we're going to say render. So this render basically renders everything here to HTML, right? So return render, and we're going to take in a parameter called request, and we're going to create, later we're going to create a folder called accounts, and then we're going to create a file called register.html. We're also going to pass the context as well to the render space. So that is for registering users. Now the next one here would be login user, and to login user is very simple. We have to create a function, and here we're going to say login underscore user. We're going to take a parameter called request. Here we're going to say if request the method is post. So if the request from the browser is a post request, we want to get the want to create a variable called username, and we're going to say, sorry, a variable called username, and it's going to be request dot post dot get, and here we're going to get the username from the browser, or let's just put email instead of username. We're going to get the email, right? And here we're going to put password, and you're going to say requests dot posts dot get, and here we're going to say password. So if you're confused, that's, oh, how come we don't have a form for the login view, just like we have a form for this one? Now, the answer is very simple. So when it comes to forms and Django, there are so many flavors you could use when it comes to forms. You can actually create a form from the form.py file and then push it to the HTML template, or you could have like an external form or something that already exists in the HTML template and then connect it to a view. So this is one way to initialize a form and to interact with forms in Django. And this is another way one can interact with forms in Django as well. So I'm just pushing that out there so you can know the one that works best for you and just implement it basically. So I'm going to be using this type of form interaction in my login view, and you guys will see how that pans out. So we're going to get, so once the request from the browser is a post request, we're going to get some information in that request, which will be email and password, right? So before we continue here, we're going to actually import something. We'll go to the top here and we'll say from django.contrib.auth. We want to import some authenticates. We also want to import login and want to import logout as well. So this would help us to make decisions with login and logout in our project. All right, so we'll come here and then we'll just say user, which is going to be a variable, and we'll say authenticate. We'll take in requests, and here we're going to say username is username, and then password is password. So basically, we're trying to authenticate what has been passed from the HTML to the view, just to make sure that it's something that we recognize, basically, right? So here we're going to say if user is not none and user dot is active, we want to say login request and then user. So if the user is not known, so if the user exists in the database and if the user is actually an active user, we want to log in that user. And then after logging in, we want to return and then we'll say redirect. We want to redirect them to their dashboard upon a successful login. Else, if the login wasn't successful, we want to just display an error message here on the screen. And we're going to say something went wrong. All right. And we're going to return them to the login page, right? So here we're going to say return render, and we're going to say request. Here we're going to have the accounts folder, and we're going to create a file called login.html. So if the request from the browser is a post request, we're going to do all of this. Else, if it's not a post request, we're just simply going to return the login.html file. So the next one here we have would be logout user. So we're going to say define and we'll just say logout user. We're going to take in a request. So here we're going to say if request, no, I'm just going to say logouts, right? And then we're going to say logout requests. So this will just log out the user and end all active session for that user. So here we're going to say messages dot success, and we're going to take a request and we'll say session ended, log in to continue. And once you're logged out, we just want to redirect you back to the login view by saying return, and we'll say redirect, and then we'll just take you to the login view basically. All right, so return redirect login, right? So log out user, login user as well. And here we have register user. Okay, so now we're done with this. Let's go back to the HTML file, see what we still need to do here. Here we need to do password management so user can reset or change their password. All right, so we can just minimize this. And here we're going to do change password, right? So before we create the view for change password, we have to create the form where users can actually change their password. And we're going to bring in something called password change form, right? So we'll come over here, we're going to create a class just like we did above. And we're going to say user password change form. All right. And here we're going to inherit from password change form. Here we have class meta. All right. And model, we're going to reference the user class. And then for the fields, we're going to get old password. It's going to be old password. No, going to be old password rather, not old password one. And then this is going to be new password one. And this is going to be new underscore password 2. Not 22, 2. No, 2. Okay. So now we're done with this. All we have to do is come over to views.py, and then here we're going to say we'll create a function, and then we're going to call this change password, right? And here we're just going to take in request. So here we're going to say if request dot method, right? If is a post request, and we're going to say form is fm dot user password change form. We're going to take it now. We're going to say requests dot user, all right, which is one parameter, and then we're going to say request dot post. So now this request dot user basically means that we want to take the current login user into context here. So which means that when a user that is logged in clicked on the change password form, we just want to set that form to indicate that is the logged in user that is making access to change the password. So here we're going to say if form dot is underscore valid, we'll just say form dot save messages dot success. All right, here we'll just say messages of success, just say your password is updated, right? And then we're going to say return redirect, and then we're going to redirect them to dashboard. Now when one has changed password and we come over to this form.save, so once this form.save should trigger, automatically that user will be logged out, basically because the password has been changed, right? So to stop that from happening, we have to import something here, and we'll scroll to the top and we're just going to do update session auth hash. So this will stop the user from being logged out upon password change. So here we're just going to come over here to this form.save. We'll put it in a variable called user, and then we're just going to say update session auth hash. We're just taking request, and then we're going to take in the user. All right, so here we're going to come over here and we'll say else. If the form is not valid, we'll just say messages, not memory view, messages dot warning, and here we're going to say, let's just say something went wrong. All right, so we'll say return redirect, and we're going to take them back to the change password. All right, so here we're going to say else. So if the form is not a post request, we're going to say form, and here we're just going to say fm dot user password change, and we're just going to say request dot user. So the context in this question would be form and form. Here we have return render, we're taking request, and obviously accounts. Here we have change underscore password dot html, and we're going to pass that context in. So the next one obviously would be to update profile, right? So update profile, you can do that very easily. We're going to create a form. We'll go back to form.py here, and then we're just going to do something here. We'll say from Django import forms, right? Now, basically, there is no default form here where you can use to change. I don't know if there's any default form here you can use to change a user's information, but usually I like dealing with this forms here that comes with Django as well. So to do that, we'll just come over here and create a class, and then we'll just say update user profile form, and then we'll just say forms dot model form. Come over here, we'll say class meta model. We're going to reference the user model as well, and then for the fields that we want to change, let's just only change one field, and we're going to call that first name. All right, just for the sake of brevity anyways, we'll come over here and we're going to create a function, and then we'll just say update profile, and then we'll just take in requests. Here we'll say if requests, the method is posts, right? If it's a post request, we're going to say form is fm updates user profile form. So we're going to say request does posts, and then the instance is going to be request does user, which is the logged in user, right? So if form dot is underscore valid, you want to say form dot save, and then we'll say no memory view, say messages dot success, and then we'll just say profile info updated. All right, so we'll say return redirect, and I want to redirect back to dashboard. So else if the form is not valid, we'll just say messages the warning, and here we'll have requests, and we'll just say something went wrong. All right, so here we're going to say return redirect, and we're going to redirect them to the updates profile page, right? So here else, if the request is not a post request, we want to say form is fm dot updates user profile form, and we'll have the instance pointing to request dot user. So context here would be form and form as well too. So we have return render to HTML. We're going to put in a request here and then obviously create a folder called accounts. And we're going to put updates underscore profile.html and then we'll also pass in the context here. All right. So I think this just it for the account management. You can still create things like reset password, etc. But I just want to keep things very short for the accounts. So now we've done the views.py. Next thing we have to do is the routing on how people can get to these views. And that will happen in the urls.py file. So we'll create a file called urls.py. All right. So we're going to import some things here. We'll say from Django.urls and we're going to import path. Here we'll say from this directory, we want to import views. We'll come over here and then we'll just do URL patterns. All right. And then in URL patterns, we'll just say path. And the first one is register, right? So we'll say register. We'll say views dot register user, and then name is going to be register. Now, you might be asking, what exactly is going on here? Okay, so remember I said that these views obviously holds the logic to most of the things we're going to be doing in the back end. So say for example, I want to log in to my accounts, right? Now this is the view that handles the login request and the login logic. So if I want to get to this view, how do I get there? So you can only get there from this route. All right. So this route is like a table that holds the path to every view inside of our application. So that is why this is very important in your project so that users can be able to locate all the appropriate views when needed in the project. So now the first one is register. Obviously, we created the register user function inside of the views.py file. And then we need to also do the next one, which will be login. And here we have views.login user. And then the name, I'm going to call this login. And then this one as well too, we have logouts. All right, so views.logouts user. And here we have logouts. So the next one here obviously would be change password. All right, so here we have views.change password. All right, and I'm just gonna do change password. So the next one here we have path, and then we have updates dash profile, and here we have views dot updates profile. Name here is updates dash profile. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So come over to views.py, we have all those things here, which is 1, 2, and then logouts 3, change password 4, and update profile 5. So everything has been added to the routing table, which is in the urls.py. We'll close this out as well, close this out as well. All right, so we're going to come over to dashboard. We're also going to create something in dashboard here. We're going to say views.py. And before we create the views for dashboard, we're going to import something. And we'll say from django.contrib.auth.decorators, want to import login required. So login required basically enables us to make sure that before the dashboard view can be accessed or the dashboard can be accessed, that user must be logged in. So here we'll just say login required, and we'll create a function now called dashboard taking requests. Sorry, taking my keyboard is just messy. Taking requests, right? And here we're going to say return render, and here we'll say request. Here we'll say dashboard, and then dashboard.html. All right, so we're going to store this dashboard.html template inside of the dashboard folder. All right, so we'll come over to dashboard, we'll right click, and then we'll click on new file. Same thing, urls.py. Come over here, we'll say from django.urls, one imports path. All right, so come over here, we'll say from this directory, we want to import views. Scroll down, we'll say URL patterns, and here we'll just say path, and we'll leave that empty, and we'll say views.dashboard, and then the name obviously would be dashboard. Okay, so this makes sense. So I will close this out. So come over to accounts. We'll come over to views.py. We also want to do the login required thingy. So here we're just going to say from django.contrib.auth.decorators, we want to import login required. So to access some things, we have to be logged in. To change your password, obviously, you have to be logged in to do that. So we'll say at login required. And then to update your profile, you have to be logged in. So we'll just say at login required, right? I think that's it. So we'll close this out and we can come over to posts and then we'll start working in post. So we're going to come over to models.py, just clear things up. So the first thing we're going to be bringing in is the user model. So we're going to say from django.contrib.auth imports gets user model. We're going to initialize it in a variable called user and we'll just say get user model. So because we're going to be interacting with the user model inside of the post models.py file, and that is why I have to bring in the user model. So just don't forget to put this because this is actually a function. Okay, so yeah, we're going to create classes basically for our posts and categories and you see how everything pans out. So now a class in this models.py file translates to a table in your database. Just have that in mind. And each of the elements inside of that class will translate to a column inside of the table in your database. So let me just show you guys how that pans out. So if I should do class and then I'll just say category. All right, so category, and here I'll just say models.model. So which is inheriting from this one here, right? So here I'm going to say name models.char field. So I want this to be a char field in the database to hold all these strings. And here I'm going to say max length. Let's just keep it 100. I'm going to also return a string method of the instance of this class by saying define and then string, and they will take in self. So here we'll say return self.name. All right, so the next one is going to be the post class. So we're going to take class post model and then we'll have model. All right, so here we're going to have category. So category is going to be models.foreign key. So foreign key, here we have category. And on delete, we want to say models that's null. So on delete models dot set null basically means that if a category is deleted, we don't want to delete all the posts associated with that category. We just want to like push it to null. And then here we'll just say null is going to be true. All right, so next one now is author of the post, right? So we'll say models.foreign key, and then we're going to reference the user model. And on delete, we'll say models.cascade. So which means that if we delete a user, obviously all the posts associated with that user would be deleted. All right, so here we have title of the posts, char field. Let's just make it 100. All right, here we have content. So content of the post will just say models dot. Here we'll say models dot text field, right? And we'll leave that empty. Here we'll say date posted. Here we'll say models dot date time field. Here we'll say auto now add is going to be true. And here we have, so auto now add is going to be true. All right, so we'll say it's drafts. So this date time field obviously would store the date and time. And also now add basically means that once we create an instance, this will just update to the current date and time that that instance was created and be saved. So we're going to check whether the post is in drafts by making it a Boolean field. A Boolean field only holds two values, which is true or false, right? And here we're going to say default is false, right? Let me see what we're going to be doing as well. So we're going to do create blog post, edit blog post, schedule, save draft. Okay. So yeah, we're going to say it's drafts. Okay. What else? So can I just say scheduled dates, models dot date field, right? A null is going to be true. So scheduled date basically will be the date we want to schedule the release of or of the post basically, right? Just trying to see what we can do. So title, content, date posted is draft, scheduled dates. Let's see, edit, this is this, okay. Let's just say it's published, right? Let's also put it's published here as well. So it's published. Or let's just use its draft instead of saying it's published. I think that would be better. What else? Okay, so I think that's that for post, right? So now let's also do this one and then we'll just say post. We'll create another class to say post, and then we'll just say models dot model. No, not class. So we'll bring in posts, or we'll bring in user, right? Or let's just say reader. All right. So that'll be models dot foreign key, or models dot foreign key. This is going to be user. Then on delete models dot cascade, not case. So cascade. Here we have counts. No, we have posts, right? And then you have models dot foreign key rather. So it's going to be posts, and here we're going to say on delete models dot cascade, right? So here we have like counts, or let's just say models dot positive integer field, right? So what are the positive integer field? We'll say null is true. All right. So here we're gonna say underscore count. Let's do it that way, right? Okay. So this is basically, this looks good so far. This looks good for our models or py file. So now we're done with this, we can obviously come over to views, and then we can start creating views. But before we create views, we're going to create form, right? Before we do anything, let's come over here. Now, this category would only be imputed by admins, right? So users, so our bloggers or readers cannot create a new category. Only admins can create new categories, right? And then for the posts, obviously bloggers can create posts. And then for the like count, I want to make sure that this cannot be edited or changed by anybody. So we'll just do editable, and then we'll just say true. All right. So now we are done with this. What we can do now is we can start creating our views, and then we can start creating form, and then obviously go over to HTML. All right. So I think we can continue, and let's see the experience creating forms, right? So come over here, right? Click on new file. We'll do form.py. So we're going to say from Django, we're going to import form, right? And we're going to say from models, we're going to import post, basically. All right, so here we're going to create a class, and we're going to say add post form. All right, so do we say, let's just say add post form. So we'll just inherit from forms dot model form. Oh, why am I typing like this? So we have class meta and not MTA, class meta, and then the model obviously is going to reference posts, and then the fields. What fields do we want? We want title, we want content, and what else do we want? Let me look at models. We want, so category, we want also one category as well too. And then we want, hold on, category. One is drafts, basically. Let me see. Also want scheduled dates as well. Scheduled date, right? So now we have all of this. We can still come over here and we'll do updates class. We'll just, instead of doing add post form, we're just gonna do updates post form. So here we're gonna say updates post form. We're going to remove this one, scheduled dates, basically, and leave the remaining. So we'll come over to views.py. We're going to be importing all our imports here. So here we're going to be import redirect. You already know what redirect is doing. We're also going to do from Django.contrib import messages. You already know what messages is doing. We're also going to do from Django.contrib.author.decorators. We're going to import login required. You already know what that is doing, right? We're also going to do from this directory, you want to import forms, form as, then from models in this directory, we want to import post, basically, right? Let's also import category as well. So let's just do that. All right, so dot class. Let's now create function. So we're going to say new posts. So we're going to say add posts, add underscore posts, and we'll just do requests. So we'll say if requests, the method is posts. Form is going to be fm add post form. So we'll have requests dot posts, right? We'll say if form dot is underscore valid, all right? So we'll have var, and then it's going to be form dot save. So we don't want to save the form just yet. What do we want to do? We want to say var dot author, and we want to say requests dot user. So we want the author to be the logged in user, basically. Else, so yeah, that's all we have to do. All right, let's move back to views.py, and then we can just say var.save messages dot success posts has been created, and then return redirect. So we want to redirect the user to post details. So just say post details, and then we'll just say var. I think var also so var the pk, I believe. I think so. All right, let's see if that's gonna work. So if we're going to do else messages dot warning requests, and then we'll just say something went wrong, and then here we'll just say return redirect, and we're going to say add posts. All right, so else if the request is not a post request, we're going to say form is fm.add post form. And then here we have a context. We're going to pass in form and then form as well. So we say return render request. So this is going to be posts and then add post.html. And then this is going to be context basically. And then this one here says update posts. Define or have update underscore posts. Requests, we're going to take in PK. Now we're going to get that post in question that we want to update. So we're going to say post.object.get and we'll say PK equals PK. Here we're going to say if requests, the method is a post request. So we're going to say fm.updates post form. We're going to take in request dot post. We're going to take an instance. So the instance is going to be post. If form dot is valid, all right. So if the form is valid, just want to do form dot save, and then want to do messages, the memory view. So messages dot success, all right, and we'll just say post updated, and then we're going to return redirect, and then let's redirect to post details and have post.pk. Else, if something go wrong, you're going to say form. No, if something goes wrong, we're going to say messages. No memory view. What is this? Messages, the warning. All right. So a warning, and then we're going to say requests. Here we'll say something went wrong. We're going to return redirect to update posts. All right. No. And here we'll have posts.pk. All right. Else, if the request from the browser is not a post request, we're going to say fm dot updates post form, and then instance obviously will point to post. And then here we have context. So context is going to be form, and let's just also bring in the post as well. Sorry, and just nope. So posts, and here we have return render. And here we have requests, and here we have posts. Here we have update underscore post dot html, and we have context. All right, so here we have, let's do post details. So we're going to create a function, and we're going to call this posts underscore details, taking requests and also taking PK. Here we'll say post is equals posts dot objects dot gets, and then PK is going to be PK. All right, so passing context here, and then we'll just say posts, and here we have posts. Here we have return render requests. Right, so we'll say posts, and then post underscore details dot html would also pass in the context as well. So here we have authors author posts. All right, so let's say author posts. All right, so here we'll just say request, and then we'll get PK. And here we're going to say, okay, hold on, let's try something. So here we're going to say author post to this. Okay, let's try something. So author posts. All right, so we're going to say author posts, and we're going to say posts. All right, just to bring in from post dot object dot filter dot filter. And just hold on, let me see something. So let's try something. So just a user. Let's do user. Or before we do user, let's scroll to the top and let's bring in user. So we'll just say from django.contrib.auth imports gets user model. So here we have user, and then we have gets user model. So we'll scroll all the way down. Here we'll just say user.object.gets where PK is PK. Right? So for this post, what we're going to say is user.posts underscore sets dot all. All right. So this would give us all the user posts basically. And here we just have context and would enter user, and then we'll also enter posts and then post and so on. So return render request. All right. And here we're going to have posts. Here we have author posts.html, and we're going to pass in context. So here we have my posts. So we'll say my posts. We're taking requests. You know what? No PK. So we'll say posts. We'll obviously say posts dot objects dot filter, right? Where user or where author. is going to be request.user, right? And then we'll just pass this in the context. And here we have post as well. So we'll say return render requests, and we'll have a post, and here we'll say my posts.html, and then we'll just call in the context here. So this is to display all the posts by the logged in user. This is to display post by a particular author. Now, the author might not be logged in. Say, for example, I want to get the post of author XYZ. This is how I'm going to guess. This is how I'm going to get all author XYZ's post. Then here, obviously, would allow me to see the post details and read the content of that post. Then here, I can update post, and I can also add post as well. So, all right. Now, we can also do delete posts. So here, we're going to say delete post. And here, I'm just going to say delete posts, and we're also taking the PK as well too. All right, so we're going to get the posts. So say post dot objects dot get, and here we'll say PK, and we'll say post dot delete messages dot success. All right, so post deleted from DB, and we return redirect to. We want to return redirect to my posts, right? Next one is going to be, let's see. So post like, right? So let's be able to like the post. So say like posts. So just do like underscore posts, and then we'll just take in PK as well. So we'll find the post we want to like, and then we'll just say post dot object dot get, and then PK is equals PK. And here we're gonna say post dot, no, too sorry. So we're gonna hold on, no. We're gonna get the post, right? We're gonna say post like, not post. So let's just do post like dot get. Hold on. All right, so we're gonna like post, right? So instead of doing this, we're gonna say let's do something. So we're gonna say let me just clear this out. We're gonna say if post dot objects dot, let's do filter, not post basically. Let's say post like. If post like that object the filter. Okay, so before that, you know what, let's just do posts, and then we'll say post dot object dot get, right? And then we'll say PK equals PK. So we're gonna say if post like, and then post is posts, right? Let's look at models.py. So if that post exists, right? And read so if this post exists, what do we want to do? No, we're gonna say dot exists. So if it does exist, we want to say post like is equals to, hold on. So if this post like exists, or alternatively, let's just do post like. I'm trying to see the shortest way to do this, right? Posts. So if post like dot exists, I want to do post like. I think this is the way forward. So we want to do post like dot. Let me see what I put there. Dot filter dot first, right? How to do post like dot equals to post like dot like count plus one, right? And so post like dot save. I'm going to explain what everything is when I'm done. And so if it exists, we're going to do this. See, I'll say post like, no, if not post like dot user, what do I call this? Dot reader rather, equals to requests dot user. Or alternatively, I'll just say if post like is equals to this, we'll just say messages the warning, you already like this post, right? So we'll say return redirects to post details, and we'll have post.pk here. All right, so here we have post save, we have messages dot success, and here we'll just say you just like this post. I will return redirect to post details, and we'll say post.pk. So if post dot exists, so what if post does not exist? What are we going to do? We're going to say else. So we're gonna say post like dot object dot create. All right. So here we're gonna say reader is request the user, and here we'll say underscore count, I believe, is equals to 1, right? And then here we'll say post is equals to posts. And here we'll say, let's just say the same thing, like this post, we'll take this, paste in here. So let me explain what is going on here with like posts. So now we have this like post, which is a function. Obviously, we're going to get requests, we're going to get PK, right, as parameters. So here we're going to get posts that we are currently viewing. That is the post we are viewing the detail or the content. So we are viewing post XYZ and we like the content of that post and we want to like the post. So what we're going to do is once we like that post, now this is going to check if that post exists. So the post we're liking, we want to check if there has been a like on that post already. So if there was if there has been a like on that post, we're now going to go to this second if statement that now checks if you've already liked that post. So if you have already liked that post, it's going to tell you you already like this post and it's going to redirect you to the post details, right? Now, if you have not liked that post, or if you hadn't liked that post, or if you haven't liked that post before, it's now going to add +1 to the like count, and then it's going to save, and then it's going to like tell us that the posts that you just like the posts and basically return you to the post detail. Then if the post has not been liked at all, then it's going to create a new post like object and then add +1 to the like count, right? And then it's going to save that post and then redirect us. So that's what this basically is doing. So let's come over here and then let's see. So we can view blog posts, which you've already done. Search blog posts. Okay, okay, okay. All right. Edit profile. Okay, so let's see if we have my posts. We don't have all posts, right? Cool. So let's come over to dashboard here and come over to views of PY in dashboard. So this is where we're going to display all posts. So we'll come over here and we'll just do from post.models, then we want to import posts, right? So we'll come over here and then we're going to do, I'm just trying to see what we could do here. All right, you know what? Let's not take this here. Let me just remove this. Let's just make everything in one place. So we're going to do like posts. So okay, so let's try this. Okay. So here we're going to say, just trying to see the best thing we could do here. All right, so here we're going to say define, sorry, and we're going to say all posts. No, all posts. All right. So all posts, what we're going to see is we're going to see posts. And we're going to say post dot object dot filter, and basically is draft equals to true, and no, sorry, is draft equals false rather, not true. Let's see, scheduled dates. So we're going to do scheduled dates. So scheduled dates GTE equals. So we're going to do something here. So here we're going to say from Django.utils import time zone. All right, we'll scroll all the way down here. That's now. All right, so the dates. So here we're going to return all the posts that is not saved as drafts and has. Hold on, we're going to report. We're going to get all the posts that is not saved as drafts and all the posts that has a scheduled date elapsed, basically. Right. So we're going to do that. And let's see. So here we're going to say context is going to be posts, and then we have posts here. And here we have return, render, requests, posts, all posts, HTML. Right. So next thing we're going to do now, obviously, is to do this login required thingy. So to create a post, I want you to be logged in to be able to add a post, right? To update a post, you have to be logged in as well, so that makes sense. So view post detail, you don't have to be logged in to view the post detail. You don't have to be logged in to see author's post. You don't have, I mean, you have to be logged in to see your own post. So I'll do this. You also have to be logged in to delete a post. I'll also do this. You also have to be logged in to like a post. So I'll also do this. And let's pass context here. Let's not forget that. And you don't have to be logged in to see all posts. So let's scroll again to the top. Let's come over to update post. Now, before you can update a post, you must at least be the person that created that post. So to do that, we'll just say if post.author is equals to request.user. So we're going to say if not, that's what we're going to say. So if not post.author is equals to this, we're just going to say return. So we're going to say messages, the warning, and here we're going to say permission denied. I will say return redirect. So we're going to return redirect you to your dashboard. So if you did not create the post, then you can't update that post. So that's what we just did here. And so same thing here for, let me just take this. So same thing I'll do for deleting of posts. I'll come over here and I'll also do it here as well too for deleting posts. Right. So if you did not create that post, you cannot delete the post. And what else? So that's just that. So we'll come over here, right click new file, and then we'll just do urls.py here. So in this urls.py, we're going to be saying from Django.urls, want to import path. And then from this directory, want to import views, right? So here we have URL patterns. So this is obviously the routing. So we're going to say path. All right. So the first one is add posts, which is going to be views.add posts. Name here, we have add posts. All right. So the next one here is update post, right? So say update posts. We're just going to take in the PK as well. We'll have views.update posts. So name here, obviously we have updates posts. All right, so next one, updates post details. All right, so say post details. We're also gonna get this one. Here's the post details here as well. All right, so we have path, post author posts. So author posts. All right, so use dot name author post. Okay, post is author post. So scroll down my posts as well. So come over to urls.py. Here we're going to say path, and it's going to be my posts, views dot my posts. All right, so my posts. All right, so come over here, and we're going to do delete posts, like posts, and all posts, right? So say delete posts. Nope. We're going to do this, views dot delete posts, and like posts, use that like posts. All right, so say like posts. All right, so here we'll just say path, and what else? What else? My post, delete posts, all posts. So come over here, we'll just say all posts. Use dot all posts, and here we'll just say name, and it's going to be all. So we're done with this, and we are just going to see how everything pans out, make sure everything looks good. All right, so let's move over to URL. Let's do something here. So where we have all posts, let's just copy this, Control X rather to cut. Come over to the top. We'll paste this in here, and we're gonna add a comma here. Don't forget that. We'll clear this out. Let's just clear this out, basically. All right, cool. So it makes sense. So we're just gonna leave that. So this can be the home page. This all posts. I want this all posts to be the home page, basically. So we'll come over here, and then come over here as well too. And let's come over to views as well. Where we have all posts, I want to do order by. And here I want to say dates created. No, no, dates created. All right. So we're going to filter, we're going to order by dates created. So we're going to get like posts by the time they were posted, recent posts basically. Okay, so I think this looks good so far. So now we have this URLs and routing path created. We're going to go over to core, go over to urls.html. So urls.py. So now this is the main table. This is where if we're trying to get a URL, this one will be hit first, and then it's now going to search for that URL and then go over to the other URLs like this one. So come over here, and then we're just going to import something here called include. All right, so for this path, we're going to do path. We're going to leave this empty, and we'll just say include, sorry, we'll say include, and here we're going to say post.urls. All right, don't forget to add your comma here. So here we're going to say path dashboard. All right, let me see. So dashboard, and this is going to be include dashboard URLs. All right. So we have path here. It says accounts, and this is going to be include accounts dot URLs. What else? Dashboard account URLs. So let's look at dashboard one more time. All right, let's look at views.py and look at urls.py. Okay, so everything looks good so far. Let's just run migrations, make sure we have everything migrated so it will be easier to connect. So we'll come over to here, our console, and we'll do py, make sure there's space there, manage.py, and here we'll just say make migrations, right? Hit enter. All right, so say no module named accounts, fine. We'll come over to core, urls.py, or alternatively settings.py. We'll scroll all the way to the top here, and instead of accounts, we have accounts. So let's come over to urls.py. I'm sure the issue was here. So we have accounts. We'll go back here and we'll just CLS to cancel things. Run this again, and then we'll just say run server. Hit enter, and let's see. Dependency with no app. Dependency on app with no migrations accounts. All right, so let's try something. We'll just say py manage.py. We'll say make migrations, and then we'll just say accounts. Okay, we'll say py manage.py, and here we'll say make migrations. So py manage.py, and we'll say migrate. All right, so let me just run that one more time. So py, I'll say make migrations. Let's make sure everything is complete. Cool. So py manage.py migrate. So everything looks good so far. Hi everyone. So let's go back to post, and then let's go back to views.py, right? Now look at this particular line here or block here, right? That says if post dot now if post like dot reader, hold on, equals to request dot user, then we want to say you already like this post. This might not really give us what we want, because here we're getting post like filter first. Yeah, so this wouldn't actually give us what we want. That's because we're always gonna get, hold on, I think it would. Oh yeah, it would actually. Yes, it would. I don't know what I was thinking about. It would. Let's see. Oh yeah, I just don't know what I was thinking about. Sorry. Anyways, let's go back to our template, right? And for here, we need to actually start working on the template. So to do that, basically, we're going to come over here and we're going to create a new directory here called templates. So after creating template, we need to let Django know where this template is located. So we'll have to come over to core settings.py, and then we'll scroll down all the way to templates. So all we're going to do here is just say base directory and then /, and then we'll just say template. So just to tell Django that our template is inside the base directory, which obviously is this, right? So we'll close this out, and we're going to come over to templates, right click, new folder. We're going to create accounts. All right. So next one we're going to create here is we're going to create dashboard, and we are going to also create posts, right? So for the account, we're going to have a base folder in the account or a base template in the account. So I'll say base.html. We're also going to create login.html. We're also going to create register, right? .html. We're also going to create change password, change underscore password .html. We're also going to create, not new folder, sorry. So update, I think we'll do update profile as well too. So just say updates underscore profile .html. And if you're probably wondering where I'm getting all this HTML ideas from, or names from, you have to come over to accounts and reviews.py, and you can see change password, update profile, etc. Just that I have the super memory, so I was able to cram these things and then just put it in there. So now since we're done with accounts, we'll close it out. Come over to dashboard, new file in dashboard, and we'll just say dashboard.html. We'll close this out. We'll come over to template, right click, new file, and we'll do base.html. HTML. All right, so we'll close this out. Come over to post, drop this down. We're going to do here, we're going to say add posts, add post.html. All right, so we'll come again, we'll say update posts.html. All right, so let me look at post. I don't really have much info on this post, so let's see. So let's scroll to the top. So we've done add posts, we've done update posts. Now next one is post details, right? So come over here and then we'll just say post underscore details dot html. All right, so let's see author posts. So instead of author post, we'll do author posts, right? So author posts dot html. We'll come over here to post. Let's make sure it's in posts, and then we'll just say post dot html. All right, so let's see this again, and then we'll say html. So my posts.html, post.html. Again, here we're going to say all posts, right? All right, so here we'll just say all posts.html. So we're just going to close this out and we're going to start working. So first of all, we're going to work from accounts and then build things up from there, basically, right? So we'll come over to our browser, obviously, click here and then click on Bootstrap. So let me just copy this for you guys and come over to VS Code. Scroll all the way to readme.txt and then I'll just say Bootstrap UI. And this is where I'm getting the Bootstrap UI from. So I'm going to be getting from the Bootstrap 5.0 version. So I'll come over here, I'll scroll down all the way to starter templates. I'll just copy this, come over to my browser, click on base.html in the account folder, right click, sorry, Control V to paste, right click here, and I'll do format document. So I'll come over here and clear this out, and I'll just call this Django blog. Okay, so I'll go over here again. I'll scroll to the top, click on examples. All right, so this one here called heroes, I'll click on it and scroll down to this one. Right click, I'll click on view page source. Come back here, I'll copy this, Control C, come here, Control F, which is going to prompt this to find, Control V to paste. So this is what I want to copy. So I'll just take my mouse and highlight everything here, Control C to copy, go over to VS Code. All right, I'll take this off and then I'll paste this in here, right click, format document, everything looks good. So I'll come over here and I'll just say block content. So block content basically in Django is just for us to take a block from one page and add to another page basically. So I'll say end block content. All right, so I'll come over here and I would copy everything here. I'll do Control X to cut rather. All right, so I'll come to login.html. So what I'll do here is I would inherit from this base.html by saying extend accounts, then I'll just say base.html. All right, so here I'll say block content and I'll paste this in here. And here I'll just say end block content. All right, so here I would say method is posts. All right, so here we have email class blah blah. So placeholder, I'll just move this placeholder here and then I'll just say name is going to be email. So instead of email address, I like calling this ID. So same thing here. Instead of password, I'll just do this name and then I'll just say password. And password here as well. So this remember me checkbox, I'm just going to take it off entirely. And here I would say don't have an account. So anchor tag here, I'll just say create one. And this will take us to the register page. So I'll do URL and then I'll just say register. This takes us to the register page, right? Cool. So I also have to do this for the register page as well. So I'll just highlight everything here, Control C to copy this, come over to register.html and I'll paste this in here. So for the register page, now because we are generating the form from the PY file in Django, we're going to install something called widget tweaks just to make this form stay in place and stay fine. So come over to your terminal or your console and then you just do pip install Django widget tweaks. So this will install widget tweaks for us. I'll go to my browser and let me do Django widget tweaks. And I would take this one here. All right, so this is the documentation, I believe. And I will paste the documentation for you guys. All right, so I'll come over here and paste the documentation here as well. All right, so here I'll just say Django widget tweaks. So this is the documentation. So you can take your time to read through it and see what it's doing. All right. So I would come over here again and I'll just remove that. So check if this is now is installed. So I'll clear things out. I'll come over to settings just to tell Django I've installed something. So I'll come to core settings.py. scroll all the way up and then come over here. So I'll just say third party because I didn't create this app myself. So I'm just gonna do widgets underscore Twix, right? So make sure you don't forget your comma here. So I'll come over to register and I'm just gonna do load widget underscore Twix. All right. So here I am gonna say posts looks good. So here I'm going to add something called CSRF underscore token, which basically will prevent cross-site script forgery on my form. From what else? So come over here and I need to put in like fresh name. So what I'll do is I'll do this and render field form dot fresh name, and here we have this form control class. I'll just X here and I'll paste it inside here. So I'm just going to remove this, and for email ID I'll just call this fresh name. All right, so I'll copy this entire block here, Control C, come over here, Control V to paste. So here is going to be last name, no sorry, here is going to be email. All right, so I'm just going to do email ID. So I'll come over here and I'm going to do this. So for email, this is going to be password one. All right, so password one is going to be enter password. All right, and here I'm just going to do password two, which is going to be confirm password. All right, so I'm just going to clear this out entirely from here. And instead of I'll do sign up actually. Here I'm going to do login. All right, so instead of don't have an account, I'll do already have an account. So here I'll just do sign in. So sign in, not singing, sign in, right? So I'll come over to login.html. So same thing here for the cross-site CSRF underscore token, just to prevent malicious things from my form. And here I'll do sign in instead of sign up, right? So sign in. All right, so register.html looks very good. Yeah, so this tool looks very good. So I can actually see how this works from the front end if I want to. But before I do that, I can actually see how this works from the front end anyway. So let's try that. So let's run our server. We can run our server by saying py manage .py, and then we'll just say run server. So we'll hit enter. All right, so we'll run our server at this place. So we'll just do control and then we'll click this. Dates created. Let's see. Cannot resolve keyword date created into field choices are author they created. Okay, so I think I have some issues with my database. So what I'll do is I'll come over here, right, and I'll just delete this, right? I'll just click on delete. Hold on, let me see that. Come over here, click on delete. So delete my database entirely. Come over here to my projects, click on core. I'll click on accounts, click on migration. So I'll just delete this. Come over here, I'll delete this as well too. All right, let's go back. So I don't think anything is in dashboard. I think I have some things in post here, so I'll just delete this and I'll delete this as well too. All right, so let's be sure that we have all our apps registered properly. So we have accounts registered, dashboard, and post registered, right? So let's run migrations again. So I'll just kill the server and then I'll just do CLS to clear things up. Py manage.py, and I'll say make migrations. Py manage.py, and I'll say migrate. All right, so I'll say py manage.py and run server. I hit enter. All right, so I'll click here. So cannot resolve dates created into field choices are author. So okay, so let's see where this might be coming from now. Since I've okay, so I see. So post.object.filter is draft. Let me just clear things up from here. So date created. So let's see where this might be coming from. All right, so let's come over to posts and then we'll come over to views.py, right? Now we have all posts, which is the home page. This one is the home page, right? So we're going to do, so now it's basically telling us that this isn't registered, right? So let's come over to models.py. Let's look at posts. And instead of date created, we should do date posted, right? So come over here and we're going to come over to views.py. And instead of date created, the best thing to do is to just say date posted, which is the correct thing actually. So if I should refresh, this should be cleared out, right? Although we can't see anything here, obviously, that's because we don't have anything. We haven't created any post yet, right? So we're going to be creating posts. Excuse me. We'll see how those. We'll see how to create posts and whatnot, right? So let's just do that very quickly. Let's go back. I'll go back again. All right. So we're going to just quickly do the dashboard section, right, of everything. So let's see how we can do that, right? So let's click on start template here. Copy. we'll come over here, right? And we're going to do templates and dashboard. No, not dashboard, rather base.html. We're going to paste this in here. Right click, format documents. Here we're going to call it Django blog. Come over again here. So click on components. You want to click on navbar. Scroll down. This one we'll click on copy. We'll come over here again. We'll highlight this and we'll just do Control V to paste. Right click, format document, make everything look good. Scroll up to the top a bit. Where we have lights, we just say dark. And here we're gonna say dark. So for navbar, we're just going to say Django, then span blog. So here we're gonna say class, and then just say text warning. All right, so we'll just push this back here. All right, let's see. Okay, so we'll come over here and we'll just say dot container. All right, so here we're gonna say block contents, and here we'll just say end block contents. So container here we'll just say empty5, so margin top 5. Basically we'll come over to dashboard. So here we're just going to say extends base.html, so we're going to inherit from base.html, and we'll now say block contents. All right, and here we're going to say end block content. All right, so we'll come over here as well. We'll come over to, I believe, examples, right? So we'll close this out, click on examples. So we want to do something. What are we going to do? So let's look at, where is that? I think, yeah, Jumbotrons, right? Click on Jumbotrons. We are going to look for something good. So let's just take this one. Hold on. Okay, let's take this one, right? So just add borders. We'll just right click here, view page source, F, add borders. So this one here is what we're going to take. So I'm just going to take this one, Control C. I'll come over here and I am going to paste this in here, Control V, right click for my document, everything looks good. All right, so here I'm just going to say your dashboard, right? And here I'm just going to, okay, your dashboard. So I'll just do creative posts, right? So creative posts, I'll put like an anchor tag here, and this is going to be URL add posts. No, add posts, right? Cool. Okay, so let's look at our browser again and let's refresh. Obviously, we wouldn't still see anything. And let's come over to dashboard. Let's see what happens when we click on dashboard. So we have to do dashboard like this, and we'll press enter. Now it takes us to the login page. Now it tells us to log in to obviously create an account, right? So we're going to have to change this to something better. So let's come over to accounts, base.html. We'll scroll up where we have this line here, vertically centered, blah, blah, blah. We'll just take this, I'll just call this Django blog. We'll add like an emoji, and this is my favorite right here. We'll put this in here. Come over here, refresh, see how that looks like. Django blog. Now, if I should try to sign in with a random account, let's see what happens. So when I click on sign in, what happens when I click on sign in? Obviously, nothing happens, right? That's because that account don't exist. But however, we're meant to see like an alert or message that obviously tells us invalid credentials or something went wrong. And the reason why we can't see that is because we haven't put that yet, obviously. So we'll come over to this nav bar here, or to this first tab, and we'll just click on alert, scroll down, we'll copy this first one. Here, we'll just say Control C to copy, come over to VS Code again, and we're going to come over to base.html, right? Here, we'll just say if messages, right? And here we'll say for message in messages. Here we'll just do Control V, right click, format documents, and here we'll say end for, and here we'll say end if. We also, no, imagine we'll leave space here as well, so make everything look good. So here we'll just say message dot tags, and this obviously will contain the message. So this is going to be message dot, no, just message rather. So come over here and everything looks good, right? Just to be sure everything looks good, everything looks good. Come over here and when we refresh, we're going to see that alert here. So refresh and you can see something went wrong. That's because obviously we don't have that account existing inside of our project. So if I should click on create one, here it's going to tell me to put my first name, email ID, and then enter password, confirm password. So I can do that. So here I'll just say test1. Here I'll say test1 at email.com. Then I'll put in a password here and I would confirm the password. So I'll click on sign up. So when I click on sign up, it tells me account created, login. So I can do test1@email.com and I would put in my password. I will click on sign in. When I click on sign in, obviously you see how this looks like. It looks so good, right? Okay, so this is dashboard basically. This is how it looks like. But then again, I would just obviously see how everything looks very fine and chromosomic, right? So now let's change this to yellow instead of green. To do that, we'll come over to base.html in the base directory, which is this one here. Now you want to search for the search this thing, a search form or search input box. So where we have success, we're just going to put one in there, and that should change that to yellow. So let's come over to dashboard, and here we have your dashboard. Here we have posts. So let's just call this, let's say get active with posts. Just do some swaggers there, right? So you can just do something like reposts, something like repost, right? And for reposts, let's just say it takes us to a URL and then takes us to post, right? All posts, and here we just have let's call this Uncle Tag. So let's check back and let's refresh. Now you can see your dashboard get active with posts. So we create a post, we can read posts. Basically, you can see this has changed to yellow. So let's click on read posts. Obviously, we haven't created any posts, so we can't read any posts, right? So now let's start creating posts and let's see what happens. So we're going to click on create a post, and obviously this is going to be empty. So we need to have a form that would enable us create posts, right? Let me see the time. So we're going to be doing that right now. All right, so we need to be able to create posts or add posts, right? So come over to here, or let me just close this up just to make things look very good. Let's come over to this place, right? So we'll click here as well. So we'll click on card. We'll scroll all the way, not all the way down per se, but let's just scroll. I think this one here looks good. So I'll just take this. So I'll just do copy. Come over to VS Code. Where we have, I'll just minimize these things here to make everything look good. Where we have post, I'll drop it down, click on add post. Here I'll just do extend base.html. Here I will do block content. I'll paste this in here. So just for my document. And here I'll do end block content. All right, so you should see how this looks like. Oh, sorry, this was the lorem ipsum I went to get for you guys for creating blog posts. But anyways, minimize this. So come over here and let's come over to add blog post. So refresh, see how this looks like. So come over here and we're going to click on forms. Let's click on overview. We'll come over here and we're going to click on copy. All right. Hold on, let me see. Copy. You know what? Instead of using that form, let's just use this one here and let's see how that goes for us. So let's click on count, right? Click on login.html. Let's just copy this form and let's use this form. So Control C, click on add post. So here we have this one here. We're just going to copy this, or rather cut it out, and we're going to paste that in there. So let's see how that pans out when I refresh. You see how this looks like. I don't know. You guys be the judge. Does this look good? If this look good, we can actually continue with this, right? I don't know. Well, I think we just have to try with this one. Let's just try with this, right? So we're just going to remove these things here. So we'll come over here and we're just going to do, let me just do for my documents. I'm going to remove this, go somewhere. I'm also going to remove these ones here. Basically, I'll just remove this. And then say here, I would say, or add a post. So refresh, let me see how that looks like. Yes, so we can add our post here, right? So when we go over to post, we go over to form.py. What are we expecting? We're expecting title, content, category, and we're also expecting its draft and scheduled date, right? That's fine. So we can come over, so we can start with the category first. So let's do load widgets underscore Twix. Here we can start with the category first by saying render field form.category, and we'll just take this class here. We'll just copy and we'll paste it in here, and we'll just take this out, and we're going to call the label, category. All right, so we'll take this one, we'll highlight, Control C, paste this one in here, and we're going to call this title, all right? And here we're going to say title. And here we're going to take this as well. And we'll do V, Control V. Here we're going to call this content. And we'll say post content. So let's see how that looks like when we come over here and refresh. You can see category. Obviously, nothing is there for category yet. And here we also have our post content as well. We're going to also have some things. We're going to have our, okay, let's just make this short. I don't like it long like this. So let's do something. Let's come over here and we're going to do row. So let's do dot row. And here we're going to say dot call. All right. So we'll just say MD6. And we're just going to take this control and then we'll just paste this in here like this. All right. So same thing for this guy as well too. So here we're just going to do call and then this is going to be MD6. We'll just take this guy here and we're going to paste in here. All right, so when we refresh, we'll see how this looks like. Yeah, so we have category, we have title, we have post content. So we'll come over to Bootstrap as well too. Then we need this check me out thingy here. So we're going to come over here and we're going to copy. Hold on, before we do that, let's see. We also need schedule dates. So for schedule dates, let's still do this again as well. So we have post content here and we can just copy this, right? And then we'll just put it down here. And here we're going to say, so here we're going to say schedule dates. So we'll say schedule release dates. Let me see how that looks like from Django blog. So I'll refresh. Schedule release dates, nothing shows up there. Let's see why. Scheduled dates. All right, so let me copy that. Come over here and I'll paste. So scheduled dates. So that should show up fine now. Then the next one here says is drafts. Okay, so let's just do is draft. Let's just do that. Is draft. Or do you know what? So instead of having is draft as Boolean, let's just make this choice field. So here we can just say is drafts equals models dot char field, and then here we'll just say max length. Let's just say 15, and then here we have choices, and we'll just say true. And here we'll say true. All right. And here we'll say false. And this one will just say false. All right. So here we're going to say default. So default is going to be true. All right. And obviously, let's say null is true. No, this can be null basically. So we're going to remove this is draft from here. And let's don't forget our comma here as well too. All right. So come over here and we're just going to run migrations again. So we'll say so py make migrations, py manage.py, and we'll just say migrate. So py manage.py, and we'll say run server. All right, cool. So come over here and so we'll just say is drafts. Basically, we'll come over here and we'll say is underscore drafts, right? Choose, or let's say select option. I don't know if it's going to work, but let's try. And let's come over here to our browser, refresh. Let's see how that pans out. So you see select option here we have true. No, hold on. So instead of saying select option, we'll just say is drafts, right? So we'll say is drafts. So we'll say true or false, right? So if it's not a draft, you just pick true. If it's a draft, you pick false basically. But this would always be true, just to say that this is still a draft. So schedule release dates obviously should be a date field, but there's nothing here. So we'll come over to HTML and where we have schedule release dates, we'll just say type and here we'll just say dates, right? So we'll come over here again and refresh and you can see here we have the date picker where we can just pick dates. All right, so everything looks good so far and we can come over to VS Code just to make sure we have everything sorted out. Okay, everything is sorted out basically. Okay. So we have everything sorted out here and we can start posting, right? So we'll come over here and we don't have to select the category because we set it to null. So we can just say how to become rich in 5 days. So I'll come over here and I will just highlight everything here, Control C to copy, paste here as content. Release date, I don't want any dates, whatever release is drafts, I'll just do false and I'll click on sign in. Category, oh, okay. So the reason why it is telling me to choose the category is because I didn't put blank here. But let me just create an admin and then just do this myself. So I'll kill this. I'll do py manage.py, and here I'll just do create super user. All right. So here I'll just say chidi@email.com. Then I'll put in my password here, and I will create a new password. All right. So I'll do py manage.py, and I'll just say run server. So before I do this out in admin, I'll have to come over to admin.py here, clear this out. So I'll say from this, for models in this directory, I want to import category. So I'll say register. So no, I'll do admin.site.register, and I'll register the category model. All right, so come over to my browser, and here I'll just do admin straight, no, /admin. All right, so I'll just sign in with this account. All right, so here are categories. I'll click on it, and I'll just add category basically. So I'll say technology. All right, religion. All right, so next one is, all right, so I'm done. So these are all the categories we have for now, right? So now we have this done. I can just log out, come over here, and I'll just do, if I should do dashboard, it obviously tells me to log in back. So here I can just do test1@email.com, and I'll do this, and it should log me in back. So here I can do create a post. If I should drop this down, I'll see all the categories. So I can just choose technology, right? What is the future of AI? All right, so come over here, and I would copy this again, Control C, and paste in here. All right, you can just draw this down to see how everything looks like. But that's fine. Not too much AI work here. And instead of signing, I'll change this to submit later, but I'll just click here, and then I'll say false. I'll click on scheduled release date. Oh, okay. You know what? I can just say probably now. I want it to be released now. Click on this. And yeah, so this has actually created my post for me, right? But then I can't see that here because obviously I haven't created this page yet. But if I should go to the home page, I should see that post there. I can still see the post there. Now I'll tell you guys why. So if I should go over to all posts, it obviously is empty. So what I can do here, I'll just do extend. Now I'll do base.html. Here I'll just say block content, and here is going to be end block content. All right, so here I'll just say row. All right, so I'll say call, no. So I'm going to come over to my browser. I'll go over to Bootstrap. I'll come over to components, come over to card. And here I'm going to be making some selections. So I'll scroll all the way down. Let me see. So I like this one here. So I'll just click on copy, and I will come over here and I will paste this in here. So right click from my document, make everything look good. And we can see how that looks like when I come over here and I refresh. Yeah. Okay, so for call, I'm just going to do MD, and instead of 6, I'll just do 3. All right, so let's refresh. Let's see how that looks like. Cool. So alternatively, I can do 4, 8, 12. So I can just do 4, right? Instead of, yeah. So I'll come over here and I will do this, right? So everything looks good. Basically, we have this. Okay. So everything looks good. We can come over here. So now we can loop over this to now get all blog posts, right? So let's see how that looks like. So I can come over here and I can loop over this card. So I can just say from, no, what am I saying? In posts, right? I'll come over here and I'll just say N4. So here I can just say post.title. So let's see if this is going to work when I refresh. So refresh, and you can see what is the future of AI. So I can also put something here, just a supporting text or something. Right here I can just say post.content, and I'll slice it. So I'll say posts.content. All right, so I'll just do my pipe here, and I'll just say slice. I want 20 or something, right? So 20 characters there. So when I refresh, oh no, 20 is too small. Let's do 100. Let's see what happens. Cool. So you can leave it at 100, right? So here I can just see, I can just put like view detail or something. All right. So I'll just say, I'll just read more or something, right? So read more. And here I'm just going to put the post detail. So URL, and I'll just say post details. And this is going to be post.pk. All right. So come over here. Let's see. I'll come over here and I'll refresh. And you can see it says read more. I'll just click on read more, and obviously doesn't take me anywhere, but that's fine. But I'll click on featured here. I'll just do posts dot category, right? Post dot category obviously takes me to, yeah, it gives me the, what's it called? The category of that post. So I can also come to my VS Code here and I can say I want this to be titled. So I want this to, so I want each letter here to be capitalized. When I refresh, you can see each letter will be capitalized. So let me just do 200 instead of 100. Let me just make that double, or I'll just say 150 here. So come over to my browser again and I'll refresh. Let me just add more words there. So here I'll just do read more. So clicking on read more, it takes me to the post detail, which I don't have, which obviously I haven't done anything. So I'll come over here and I would, you know what, I'll scroll all the way to the top. Let's try something. Scroll all the way to the top, right? And I would hold my control down and then I'll press on examples. Scroll down to Jumbotron, click on Jumbotron. And I want this custom Jumbotron, I will just do view page source. So scroll down to where it says custom Jumbotron, right? Jumbotron example, custom Jumbotron. So this one here, I'll just do Control C to copy. All right, come over to VS Code here, and then I'll click on post details, which is this one here. So here I'll just do extend, and I'll say base.html. All right, so here I will say block content and paste this in here. I'll right click, format document, and here I'll say end block content. So for this one, I'll just give this the title. So I'm just gonna say post.title. All right, so here I'm going to say, let's just say here post dot, you know what, let's just make this, oh no, what am I doing? Let's make this an anchor tag. But anyways, let's just say post dot category. Now let's make it an anchor tag. All right, we won't put anything there for now, but let's just make it an anchor tag and we'll just X this and do this, right? Put like a slice here, and here we're going to say post dot date underscore posted, right? And let's see how this looks like. Come over here and we're going to refresh, and you can see what is the future of AI, and then this was the date posted, right? This technology obviously will be able to click on it and obviously see how that looks like. So let's see. I don't know. I think this is too big. What do you guys think? If it's too big or not? I don't know. I feel it's too big, but that's fine. What is future of AI? You know what? Let's make some reduction here and see how it could look like. So for this one, let's just say display 6. I don't know. Let's do display 6, and here let's just say 5. Let's see how this looks like. I think it looks better than it was just too bold. Okay, what is feature of AI? I think this one here. I think I can also reduce this. Which one is it? Let me just do 6 here. Let's see. I don't know if it's this one I have to reduce, but let me see. What is the future of AI? I think I like this one better. So this thing here is, I think it's still too big. This technology thing is too big. So let me just come over here. Let me just remove this. Let me see what happens. When I refresh, obviously it's going to get smaller. Yes. So this is good. And I can reduce this button obviously to by saying SM. So here I can just say like post, right? So I can just say like post and anchor tag. What am I doing? Anchor tag. So we'll still come back to this anyways. Or let's just do it now. We don't have to come out. Let's just do it now. Here we're going to say URL. We'll just say like. No, here we'll say posts. And we're going to take the post APK. Okay, so refresh. Let's see how that looks like. We'll say like post. Here we're going to say to like post, right? Let's just make it outline. So we're going to do outline. And we're going to say primary. And what else? So let's come over here. Let's refresh. Post. What do you guys think? Or let me just make it, let me just make this primary back. And it will also put the number of likes as well too, but let's just leave that for now. All right, let's do the body there. So we're just gonna say, let's just do like a div tag basically. And here we'll just say post dot content. Let's see how this looks like when I refresh. Good, it looks fantastic, right? I think we can also do justify or something. Hold on, let's see. Let's say justify. Now come over here and I refresh. Oh, I don't think Justify is available. I thought it used to be available before. I don't know why it's not available anymore. But that's fine. I thought we had Justify, but it's fine. So yeah, this is how the body would look like basically, right? And let's do Okay, yeah, so this is the body basically, just again to keep things very simple. And let's do like the number of likes here. Let's just do that very quickly. So we'll come over here and then let's just do 0 likes. Let's see how that looks like when I refresh. So 0 likes, that's fine. So do you know what? I can just do something like this. So instead of doing, yeah, I can do class. So I can just say MS or MR, and I can just say 2. Let me see when I refresh. I don't know why this doesn't work anymore. It's just so weird. Okay, let me just span here. And here I'll just say class, and I'll just say MS, and I'll just say 3. I'll copy this, and I'll put here. Not copy per se, I'll just drag it there. Refresh. Yeah. Okay, so I don't know, I think this is too much. Let me just do M2. This I don't like front end. Too much of, I think this is too much. I think that is not too much. Okay, so I think this is good. All right, so if I should like this post, what happens? So this should move to 1. Uh, Let me just do that calculations first and then come back. Okay, so we can come over here and let's see models. Let's see this. So like count, that's what we need, right? So to get that like count, what we're going to do is very simple. Let's come over to post and then views.py. All right. No, sorry. Yeah, views.py. Yes. So scroll all the way to post details. Where you have post details here, right? All right. So we're going to say, so we'll say like count, right? So we're going to say post dot objects dot filter and posts equals posts dot first, right? So say dot first. All right, so we just take this and add it here. All right, so post dot first. Okay, so here we can just come over to our templates, drop this down, come over to post details, and here we're just gonna say instead of 0 here, we'll just say we'll paste this in here dot like count. No, dot like count, I believe. So come over to our browser and we're going to refresh. We can't see anything there. So let's see if we like the post. Let's see what happens. So when I like the post, what happens? No attribute exists. Okay. If posts like that, so it's just basically telling me that no attributes exists, right? So let's do something. Let's come over to models.py where we have this like count, right? Let's do default 0. So come over here and we're going to do py manage.py, make migrations, py manage dot just py manage.py run server. All right, so come over here and let's see. Refresh, like posts. That's fine. So that's because this one is still stored as null. So let's create another post and let's see what happens. So let's just copy this. All right. So come back to dashboard and we'll say create a post. So category, let's say transport. Can we make cars? Or let's say 2090, the year cars might fly. I don't know, something motivating. So we'll paste this. So release date, I want the release date to obviously be today and it's draft false. I'll click on sign in. All right, so let's see. 2020 the cars might fly. When I click on like post, what happens? So it tells me the same thing. So if post dot like that exists, let's see. Non-type object has no attribute exists. Okay. Let's come back here. Let's see what we can do here. So if exists, okay. Let's see what's going on. So let's say instead of this, let's just say does not exist. So if not, all right, let's try this again. Refresh, like posts. Non-type has no object. So the reason is simply because this thinks, all right, so the reason is actually very simple why this is actually crashing. It doesn't, so this is not storing any, hold on, equals posts. This is not storing any value, basically. That's why it's doing like that. Okay. So let's try something now, all right? Let's clear this out and let's try something. Let's try something. So let's come over to models. Let's see, reader, post, like count. So instead of having this like count, let's just remove this like count entirely, right? So let's come over to here and we're going to do CLS py manage.py, make migrations. No attribute has like posts. That's fine. Let's come over here and let's just do define, or let's just say login required, and we'll just say like underscore post request PK. So now we're going to get that post. We're going to say posts is equals, I'll just say post dot object dot get PK is PK, right? And here we're going to say post, no, here we're going to say post like dot objects dot create, and here we have reader is going to be the logged in user, and we have posts is going to be posts, and messages dot hold on. So before you like a post, we're going to do something. We're going to say, so if post like dot objects dot filter, then we're going to get the post. We're going to say post equals post, and then reader equals request dot user. All right, we're going to check if it exists. We're going to say dot exists, no, dot exists, right? And we're going to say messages dot warning, you already liked this post, and we're going to return redirect to posts details, and we're going to also say post.pk, right? Post messages dot success taking requests, you like, you, or so you just liked this post. I'm going to return redirect post details, and here we'll have posts, and there's going to be .pk. So I think this one is even better, right? All right, let's go back to post details here. So post details, which is this one. So instead of saying like count, what we're going to say is just going to say posts dot post like underscore set dot all, and then we'll just say dot count, right? And this would do like count. So let's do this again. Py manage dot py. I'm gonna say make migrations. All right. So py manage dot py migrate. Py manage dot py. We'll just run server. All right. So we'll come over here again, and we're going to go back. Let's refresh. All right. Let's see if this is still working. Okay. So let's like post. Let's see. So now we'll actually like the post. Let's refresh. So we should see the number of like here on that post. But let's go back to post detail. Let's remove this. So we should see one like appear here when I refresh. You can see one like, so it's fine. So anyways, let's now, the reason why we couldn't see any message here was because we didn't input the alert there. So come over to accounts base.html. Let's just copy this, Control C, come over to this base.html here, and we're going to paste it in here, and we'll just do format document here. So when I refresh, I should see you like this, just like this post. All right, so that's fine. So when I should refresh back, everything goes away. What happens when I try to like the posts? I'll do like posts, and you can see you already like this post. So yeah, so that makes sense, right? So let's make quick adjustments to some things here, and let's see how everything pans out, right? So for this title here, I want to make the first letter of each word capitalized here, basically. All right, so to do this, we just have to go over to VS Code, and where we have post details. So this one here that says title, just do pipe and then title. And we'll come over here and we're going to refresh and see how that looks like. It looks good. And obviously, again, when we try to like the post, it tells us you already like this post. So let's go back to this other post. Let's just refresh, make sure everything is good. So I'm not sure this one obviously has been liked, but when we do read more, obviously this is how it looks like, right? We can come over here and we can do, yeah, obviously you see how this one looks like, title, because every first letter is capitalized. You can like post, or you already like this post. Okay, let's go back again to the other ones we haven't liked. I think this one, right? So we can click on like post. You see, just like this post. If I like post again, it's going to tell me, oh, you already like this post, right? Makes sense. So next thing now is let's make these things functional, this home and everything. Let's make it very functional. And yeah, basically. So we're going to go over to VS Code, and let me just close this out. Let me close this out. Let me close this out. Let me close this out. Okay. So we're going to come over to, let's look at post. we already have add post, so can you just do update post? So just do Control A here, Control C to copy. I'll push this in here. So here we're just gonna say, instead of add post, we're gonna say update, and then we'll just do this. Here we'll just do post dot title, right? And then just do title here. You're able to update this post, right? So let's do my post here. So we're just gonna copy. We're gonna copy something. We're going to copy. Let's copy all posts, right? Or instead of copying all posts, let's do something rather. So we'll come over to update. We'll come over to my post, and we'll just do this. We'll do extend base.html, right? And here we'll do end block content, right? So we'll come over to the browser here, and let's come over to cards. So we'll come over to content. Sorry, no. Let's still be on cards first for a while. Scroll down all the way to the one we used before. That one again. Let me see. Not this one. So this one. We'll just copy this, right? Click here, and then we'll add that here. Sorry, let me just go back here. So we'll do Control V, add that, right click, do format document. So here we'll say my posts. So let me see how this looks like. So let me just remove this H5 thingy here. So here we can just say something like, these are all your posts, not all the posts you have created so far. All right, so here we're just going to now add a table. So let's come over here and we'll click on not components, content, and then we'll click on tables. All right, so we'll come over here, we'll just click on copy, then go over to VS Code. You do Control V, obviously, to paste my document. So we're just going to remove these two things here because we're going to be looping over the TR. So instead of table, we're going to just say table bordered. So table bordered. I just like using this table bordered a lot. It looks good. So come over to my browser here, and I would come over here. So if I should do posts, or if I should do my posts, that's what happens. So what happens? Obviously, you'll see all the posts you've created so far, right? We're going to remove that button. It's not needed. So we're going to remove this button that says go somewhere. Now we're going to be looping over our post. So here we're going to say title, and here we're going to say, let's just say status. Here we're going to say dates posted, all right? And here we're going to say actions, right? So here we're just going to call this TD, not too much design. So here is going to be, anyways, before we do this, we'll come over here and then we'll just say for posts in posts, all right? So here we're going to say posts dot title. And again, we're going to make this title to capitalize each first letter of every word. So status. Here we're going to say something here. We're going to say if drafts equals to, so if draft equals to let's see, let's come over here to our posts, and then we're going to come over here to views, no, models.py. So if draft is true, right? So here we're going to say, if it's true, we're going to say draft, and we'll just say draft, else we're going to say publish, right? So here we're gonna have end if. Now come over to our browser actually, and come over to this place here, components. Look for badge all the way down here. Scroll the way down, and this one here. So we'll just copy this, Control C. We'll come over here, and we're gonna paste this in here. So we're gonna call this drafts. So we're gonna call this warning, right? And this is going to be success, and we're gonna say published. All right, so next one here says date posted. So this is just gonna be dates underscore posted, right? Let's see, date underscore posted. Then actions. So actions obviously will be buttons, right? So let's make that happen. So the first one would be to do like view post or something. So this will just be URL, and will take us to post details, right? So we can just have post.pk. So this is like view posts. I can just say this would be class. Let's have a class here, and then do a btn, just do secondary. and then btn small, right? Or I don't know if it should be small, but let's just do secondary. Let's leave it as it is. All right, so we'll come over to here as well too. We're going to look for button group here. So scroll, 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 and then this one here. So the next thing we'll copy this, right? So come over to VS Code and just go down and we'll paste this in here, right? Click on format document. These two buttons, we'll just remove it from here basically, all right? So here we're just going to call this actions. Here is going to be updates, and so updates, and this is going to be deletes. So for updates, we're just going to say URL and updates posts. So it's going to be post.pk. Delete tool, same thing. We're going to say URL deletes posts, and this is going to be post.pk as well. So, right. So class here, we can put a class here and then just put it in red. So say, do we already have a class here? I think we do have a class. Yes. So class, you just can just say text, and then we can just say warning. Okay. So let's see how this pans out. When we do this, we can come over to our Django blog here and we refresh, and we can see equals is not past equals to true. Let's come back here and it's drafts. Let's do this. No, let's leave space and let's see. So when I refresh, what happens? Same thing. Not same thing. So that's a different error message, and that's because we haven't closed out this. So we can come over to the bottom here and just close it out from here. We'll just say end for. Come over to our browser again, we'll refresh. And yes, see how this looks like. So here is blank, obviously. That's because we didn't say posts here. Thus did posted. Come over here and we'll refresh. And you can see how this looks like, right? These are the posts you've created so far. So here we have title, what's the future of AI, 2019 cloud might fly. So these are all the posts we've made so far, right? This is when we posted them, you know, and then actions, we can come over here, view posts, actions, we can, oh, no, not warning, that should be danger. So let's do danger there. So come over here, right? So refresh, drop it down. You can see update and delete. Click on updates, and then it takes you here to render field has no object field. Let's see what's going on. All right, so let's see what's going on. Let's come back over to views.py and then probably see the issue here. So let's come over to update post. So we're getting the post. So if not post.author equals to request.user, we're going to say this, right? Here we're going to say if the method equals to post fm update post form request dot post instance is equals to post here. If form that is valid, form that save, else we're going to do this, right? So instance posts request update post dot html in context. All right, let's look at form. Let's see. So title, content, category is drafts. Okay, we didn't do scheduled date here. That's fine. So let's go into update posts. So we have to remove this one here. All right, so let's remove that one and let's refresh. Yes, so it's drafts false. Let's just put author here, just so just add something there to make it look good. So we can come over to our accounts login.html, right? So just copy this. So Control C, we'll come over here to update post rather. So where we have this one, we'll just come down here. And you know what? Let me just, or let's not go back. Let's just do this. So call, and then we'll paste this in here. So this will be MD6. All right. So scroll a bit. So here will be inputs. Doesn't matter. And here will just be read only. We'll just call this read only. And this one will be value. So value is going to be post.author, I believe, dot first name, right? So let's just do it like that. And here we have, and then we have not sign in, submit, or let's just say updates. And for all posts here, we're going to say, no, not for all posts, add posts here. Instead of signing, we're going to say submit. So come over here and we'll refresh, see how this looks like. So test one, obviously we can't change this field. because it's read only, right? We can make some changes here. Probably we can just say science, right? And click on updates. So what happens? You can see this has changed to science, right? Cool. So we can go back, obviously, and let's change this to is draft to just say true. I'll click on updates. Cool. So when I go back to my post and I refresh again. So let me, this should say drafts. So let's see what happened there. Come over to my post and let's see what's going on there. If is draft is true, we want to say drafts. So let's go back again. Let's see what happened. So this one has my fly, right? Is draft is true. And I'll update. Okay. Okay, let's see. Refresh. So let's see what's going on. So if it's draft, so the reason why I can't, because the reason why it isn't showing me anything here is because I didn't add posts that is draft. These are the little things actually. Okay, let's go over here again and let's refresh. Let's see. You can see drafts. Or let's just say draft post. And then I will just refresh this here. And you can see draft post. So draft post obviously means that we will not be able to see this particular post. We shouldn't be able to see this post in all posts, right? When I should come over here and I click, obviously I shouldn't see that post here. I should only see what is the future of AI because this is not in drafts, right? So we can only see posts that are we can only see posts that are in drafts. Yeah, I think that makes sense. Okay, so we can only see posts that are not in draft rather. All right, so we've done that for my post. So let's do all author posts. So this one should be very easy. So we'll just come over to all posts here and we'll just copy this. All right, and come over to author's post and we'll just paste this in here. Right. So when you click on the author, you're able to see their posts. So let's see. So if I click on read more here, we want to see all posts for, all right? So we can come over here and hold on, let me see. All right, so we can come over here. We can come over to post details and we can just copy this one here. So Ctrl C to copy this. And we'll come over to author's posts and we're going to paste this in here, right? So here it says, so here we'll just say all posts for, and this is going to be, hold on, we haven't gotten here yet, but let's just keep that. We're going to get there soon. I don't think we've done the logic for this, but we're going to get there very soon. Let's see. So let's just remove other things here, like post category and the rest. So just remove this, remove this. We're going to also remove this here as well. So let's just make things very simple. So let's come over to views.py in post and let's see the logic we use there. Author's post. So we get the author, right? Then post user. Okay. All right, cool. So let's try that. So from let's do this now. So let's go over to all posts, which is this one here. I'm also have to have like a place where we would have the author. All right, so let's try that. So now let's go over to my posts. All right, and let's copy something here. Let's just copy card text, this one here. So Ctrl C. We'll come over to all posts here, and we can just do this. So instead of read more, let's still come down here. And we're going to do this here. And here we're just going to say author, and then we're just going to do like a tag. All right, so we're going to do post.author dot first name, right? And this obviously would be, let's do URL and author posts. This is going to be author, no, this is going to be post.author.pk. So come over here and let's come over to all posts. So just take this to enter. You can see author here, it says test one, right? Or let's do we have to make this small or yeah, okay, let's leave it as this here. I think it looks good. So let's see. When we do test one, we're able to see all posts for this test one, right? So author test one. I'm just finding like an alternative to this author test one. Okay, that's fine. Let's just keep things very simple. Let's not do too much design on the front end. So we'll just do author. We click on test one, that we can see all posts for test one here. So come over to author's post, and here we're just gonna say, let's look at the views first of all. Let's see what we did there. So did I do? So views.py. We have user here, so we'll just do Ctrl C, copy that. Here we have user. dot say first name. Cool. So if I should come over here and refresh, you can see all posts for test one, right? Or we'll say all posts created by this guy. So we're going to see all the posts this person has created so far. This makes sense. All right. This actually makes good sense. So we need to also look at the category, right? We need to create that logic as well. So let me just clear everything here just to make sure that we have everything sorted out. So if I should look at post detail, everything has been all right, everything is looking good. So anyway, before we do category, let's try and arrange this main page a bit, just make it very good. Right, so let's come over to this place here and we're going to go all the way to the top and we're going to click on example. Let me just close this out, leave more space there. And here we're just going to say heroes. And this one here, I want to get this hero and I probably want to get this one. I like how this one looks like. Well, let me see. Oh yeah, this one's better. So I would just come over here and Ctrl C. All right, so I would do view page source, Ctrl F, paste this in here. All right, and I would copy this. So just do Ctrl C, come over to all posts here. And so here I'll just paste it in here. Right click format documents, come over to my browser. And this one here, I will just right click on Control and click, copy this link, come over here, and I would paste in here. All right, so let me see how this looks like when we refresh. You see how this looks like? Yeah, this is how it looks like. We can just add something very nice. Yeah, basically, can add something very nice there. Let's see if we can remove this shadow. See how this looks like without the shadow. If I should do shadow, remove shadow. Let's see. Let's see. No, not for the card. Not for the picture, rather for the card itself. So where is the shadow thingy? Yeah. So let's remove the shadow and let's see how this looks like without the shadow. So I think it looks. I don't know. I don't know how it looks, but it looks good. So I don't know if we can minimize this. But anyways, this is how it looks like. It looks good to me. So here we can just come over here and we'll just say Django blog, right? And here we just do this. And let's see how this looks like. Okay, looks good. I don't care. All right, so let's see. I think we have to add like a bit of space there. So Django blog, let's do MB2. Sorry. Here we'll do MB2. So margin bottom 2 when I refresh. I don't know why this doesn't take effect. I'm just lost sometimes. Let's try with this one. Let's do MT2. Let's see. So that's margin top. Refresh. I don't know. I give up on Bootstrap for real. I don't know. It's too many P's and M's here. I don't know. Anyways, let's just leave it as it is. We'll just manage it like that. All right. So this is how it's going to look like. Let me see if I can reduce the size of this a bit. See if I can do that. I don't know how. I don't even know. This is just too much. I honestly do not know how to do this. I don't know, guys. Probably might just leave this like this. I don't know. So let's just come over here and then let's add the shadow back. Let's see. Let's refresh. I think the shadow gives this a bit of beauty. Gives a bit of beauty, but that's fine. So yeah, this is how it looks. This looks like. We can also add like shadows to the card as well. So let me add shadows to the card. So come over here to card, or you can just add shadow as well. So we can just say shadow. Come here, refresh. I don't know. It gives this a bit of beauty, and we can just leave it as it is. Okay. Yeah. So we have Django blog, right? And then we have everything we need here as well. So we can remove those buttons here, or let's just say start creating, right? So instead of, hold on, where is this? So this one, we can just say start creating here. So we say start creating and what is this? I don't want this here. So just change this to an anchor tag. All right. So go here as well to change this to an anchor tag here. And this will just take us to register, right? I will remove this button here. I think is not useful. We'll come over here and we'll refresh. And here just say start creating. All right. I think everything here looks good. Everything here, I mean, you can change this to what you want to change it to. As you click on start creating, obviously it takes me here where I can sign in, right? So let's do something. So instead of, so let's do something. So we'll come over here and then we'll say if requests dot user dot is authenticated, right? Or say if not request is authenticated, I want to show them this. else we want to say, so we'll copy this here, so Control C, come back here. We'll say add a posts, add a posts. And here's going to be add posts. So here we'll just say end if. All right, cool. So come over here. So if you're logged in, you will see add a post. If you're not logged in, you'll see start creating. So refresh, you can see add a post, right? Cool, makes sense, makes sense, makes sense, makes sense. Everything looks good. Let's see. So these are all our posts, right? So I think it's best we have like I'm just thinking, let me see. No, I was just add like a sidebar here or something, but I changed my mind. Sorry. Oh, probably we could have a sidebar, but probably we could have the sidebar here. Not, I think we can have the sidebar here. So let me do my post and then let me just make the other posts to be published. So I'll do my posts and I'll come over here and I'll click on updates. Here I'll just do false updates, right? So I should be able to see this when I come over here. So you can see basically the two posts. So I can come over here and add like a footer. So I'll come over to Bootstrap here. I'll just go back. I think we have footer here or something. To be around here somewhere. A sticky footer, right? Okay, fixed. All right, so the sticky footer, we'll come over here. We're just going to do this. So we're going to do VP source and we're just going to copy the footer here. All right, just hold on. Let me see. I'm going to copy the footer. We'll come over here to base.html where we have these things here. We'll just come over to this place and paste in here for my document. And we'll take this in body. We'll just copy this one here. Control C, come over here as well. Come over to our body tag and we're going to paste this in here. All right. So here we're going to say Django blog and let's just put like a love emoji. Where's the love? Perfect love emoji. Let's use this one. All right. So we'll come over here and let's see how it looks like when I refresh by Django blog. So we need to leave space here. So we can say, we can come over to base.html, right? So MT5, we're also going to say MB5 as well. So we'll come over here, we'll refresh, and you can see Django blocks. This is our footer basically. Cool. But everything looks good so far, right? Anyways, I'm very bad at design, so you guys should forgive me if I'm making if I'm making terrible choices. So you can click on author and then I click on this guy. Obviously, you see all the posts, all posts created by test user one, right? But a part of me just wants everything here to be synchronized. I don't know. So let me go back again. This is why I do not like UI. Let's try this again one more time. So let's remove shadow. Let's remove shadow again. We'll come over here and let's remove shadow here. A part of me just wants everything to be synchronized, and I don't know why. This is good. I believe this is good. So I don't know. A part of me just wants everything synchronized. All right. So I think let me just go with this. Not too much design. Let's go with this. Let's see. Yeah, so let me just say, let me just do something here. So if I should click on test one, let's try something. Let's come over to author's posts, right? All right, let's see. Rounder three, container fluid, PYSs. So let's do this BG light thingy. Let me see where I can place this. I should do all posts. Let me see where I can place that. I don't know. Let me see if I can paste that here. Let me see what happens. So come over here and I'll refresh. Yes, this is it. This is it. Anyway, that's fine. Let's see. Let's see. Let's see. Let's see. All right. So Django blog. We'll scroll down. All right. So yeah, I think everything's in sync now. So if I just click on test one here, this is what I like. So why is this coming up like this? More problems. Okay. Let's see. So base.html. I already did this here. Didn't just do 100. Let me see what happens. This should be at the bottom of the page. This is at the bottom of the page. I don't know why. Oh, no. All right, anyways, I'm going to see what is going on with that. Deflex column. I'll see what's going on with this later, or I can see what's going on with it now. Let's do some research. So navbar not sticking at bottom page in browser. So let's see some smarters give me solution in Stack Overflow. What's the time? Hope I'm not taking too much time. While this is loading, let's look at others. Okay, I think it's opening now. All right, let me clear this out. All right, so all posts created by user one. Go back. You have our posts here. Okay, our posts. Space here should be, well, that's fine. Should do here. I'll do my posts. I think the space here is a bit too much. Let's go back here actually. Let's do all posts. Let's take this out. Let's see what happens. Come over here, right, and refresh. Oh, that doesn't do anything. Okay, let's just do this. Let's do this my 5. Come over here and refresh. Then we need to do something there. So we have to do MB and then we can just say MB fresh. Yeah, yeah, looks good. Don't know why it was too down. Let's see what these guys are saying here. It doesn't stick, right? So let's come over here. Let's see. This is too much solution. Too much solution. No, too much solution. Just looking for something. No, I'm looking for something that would. Let's see what the answers. Let me see. Hold on. Let me not take you guys through this. I'll just pause this video and then reach. Yes, I actually got this to work anyways. So I just made some changes here. Let me see. I made some changes here. And I also made some changes here as well. You see, I added this main class here and everything works fine. So, all right. So if I should go back to home, where's my mouse cursor? So go back to home. All right. So everything looks good so far. Okay, I don't think I really need this picture here. So let me just remove that picture. I think it's making everything to be a bit, I don't know, somehow. Let me remove that picture from there. See how this looks like. So when I go to all post, this is why I don't like front end. I don't know, it's too much work. Oh, it's refresh again. Let me just use this. So we just have this beta version without any picture. So I have all my posts here. Everything looks good, right? And what else? What else? What else? So again, I have to have like categories. When I click on read more, we also need to put like author as well to here. So we'll just come over to post details. Post details. Date posted. Here we'll have author. So we'll just say here we'll have post.author dot first name. And here we have URL author posts. And it's gonna be posts.author.pk. Okay, makes sense. All right, that makes sense. So we can refresh. You can see test one here. Click on this guy. You see all posts created by test one. And obviously that will be an account like this. So refresh. Let's see. What are we gonna do next? Let me see. So yeah, so category. We need to do that. We need to put in category, right? So let's try and do category where you can see all categories, right? So we can come over here. I will say. So here we can just do define categories. No, posts per category. And we'll do requests and we'll do PK. And here we'll just say category. Category is category dot object dot get where PK equals PK. Here we'll just say category. Now here we'll say posts, and this is going to be category dot posts underscore set dot all. And here we have contexts, and here we have posts, and also we have category, and here we have category as well, and return render requests, and this would be posts, and then you can just say posts no, per category.html and context. So come over to URLs. So this is basically to get all the posts that belongs to a particular category. So come over to URLs.py. Here we'll just say path, and this is going to be posts per category, and we're going to just say int pk. And here we're going to say views posts per category. All right, so here is posts per category. So we'll come over to posts, drop it down, or right click, and here we'll do new file. So here we'll just say posts per category.html. All right, so we're gonna do author's posts. Just take this, Control C. So we'll have post per category, we'll just paste this in here. So all posts for category. Okay, so we're gonna say all posts. I think everything should work fine. So I'll come over to VS Code as well to click on post details. So here we're gonna say URL, and this is gonna be posts per category and this is going to be post.category.pk. So come over here and refresh. And when I click on science, oh, underscore, not dash. So come over to views.py. This should be an underscore. So it's post underscore set.all. Come over to my browser again and refresh. It should work fine now. You can see all posts for science category, and you can see all the posts basically. Okay, I think we're done with that. So let's see. So hold on. All right. Okay, so we have all posts for science category. Obviously, we have all the posts related to science category. When we come over here, refresh, everything still looks very good, right? So I want to do something where if I should click on read more, I want you to see all the posts by the side relating to test one. So to do that, we'll have to go over to Bootstrap. Bootstrap again. I'm so sorry. I've done like more time with the UI than I've done with the backend, and that's the crazy thing about UI. I've done more things with UI than I've done with backend, but that's fine. We'll come over to cards, right? And we're going to do something here. So let me see what I'm going to use. Let me see the best cards to use. We just do like a table or something. I think a table would be best, but let's see. Let's try something. So let's use this one. Let's use this card. So I'll just copy this. I'll come over here to posts where we have post details. This is the post details, right? So here I'm just going to do row and call. All right. So this one will be MD8, right? So I'll just take this and I would put it in here. No, what am I doing? So push this. All right. So this will be MD4, right? So dash MD4. All right. So we're going to add that here. So we're just going to paste this in here. All right. So click on format documents. So see how this looks like here when I refresh. We can see, right? So what is I can't remember how to justify content here, but it's so weird. I can't remember anymore. Hold on. Post. So I should do class, and I do justify, or I do text justify. Let's see. So I should refresh. Nothing happens. Or I'll just do justify. Let me see what happens. Justify and refresh. Hold on. How to justify text content in Bootstrap 5. Let me see. Let me also see the documentation as well too. How do we justify text content? Text start. No, this is not what I want. Text height. No space. No. Reset. Text decoration. I don't know. There's nothing there. That's weird. Nothing there that tells me anything I want to hear. Text alignment. Let me see. I don't know. Let me see what they have to say here. Let me see. You want to ask this question? Text align justify. Let me try this guy's on, but let me see the others. I did this. Text justify, but it's so weird it didn't work for me. Let me try again. So come over here and sorry, I'll do this. No, text justify. All right. I'll come over here and refresh. All right. So let me try. Let me see the other person. Let me see. Oh, I see. Oh, that makes sense. So let's copy this. I was wondering what was going on. So let's copy this. Let's paste in here. Let's see what happens when I refresh. So I'll close this out, close this out, close this out. So yeah, we can have thingy here. So if I'm over to cards, I would do this card title. I'll just take this card title here. And here I would just say, where was I? Here, right? I'll paste this in here. I'll say, let me just say related blog posts. Let me just say related blog posts anyways. And come over here, refresh, related blog posts. So I can put other blog posts there, right? Cool. So I'll just come over here and I'll copy. And what I would do is come over here and I'll paste this, right? So I'll do format document. So let's see how this looks like here when I refresh. Yes, this is what I want. So here I can do something like this, or I can just say, so let me paste this again. Let me see what happens. So card body, I can paste this again. Let me see how that looks like when I refresh. So I need to do I need to do like an MB something, right? So where we have this related blog post card. So here I can just loop over and just say MB2. Makes sense. So refresh. Yes. So I can just put a text in there. So here I can just say related blog posts. So I can do like random things, right? I can do like random blog posts there. All right. So for this related post, just like I said, to get random posts, right, from the database and then display those random posts here, right? All right. So we're going to do this. Okay. So let's go over to post. Then we'll go to views.py. So where we have post details, let's go over to not my post, so post details, right? So here we're going to say related underscore posts, and here we're going to say posts dot objects dot order by, and then we're going to do this. So this is Django's way of, you know, generating random objects from the database. So we're going to copy this. I'm just going to do this. Ctrl C. Come over here. I'm going to add it here. So we'll put this here. And we're also going to put this here as well. So we will come over to post details. So here we're going to loop over this, starting from this first one. So we're going to say for P in, or let's just say for in related post, right? And here we're going to say N4. And we're just going to remove this one here. All right. So this is going to be posts. This is going to be the post body, right? So we're going to say post dot title, and then title here, and put a p tag here, and anchor tag will say read more. So URL, that will be posts details, and here we'll have post.pk, and here we'll have read. Let's see how that looks like. When I refresh, we can see how this looks like basically. So cast by fly, this and this. So you know what, let's just make this to be small, right? So here we'll just say text, then we'll say small. And this one here, we'll just make it bold. So we'll just put this in bold. All right, so come over here and we'll refresh, and you see how this looks like. This isn't small. Last word. Let's remove this from bold. I don't like how that bold looks like. This should make it small. Let's copy and let's put it in this anchor tag and let's see what happens. So we'll do this. And I know why it's not making it small, because there's nothing like text small. So what we can do is we can just say small, and we'll just take everything. I don't know if I'm doing this the correct way, but no, I don't think I'm doing this the correct way. Hold on. No, I don't think I'm doing it the correct way. I have to, hold on. I need to take this just to X. I'll paste that in here and take this anchor tag and put it in small. I think that's the correct way. So refresh. Good. So this is how it looks like. Okay, let's see. Card MB2. So this is how everything looks like. So here you can see 2020 cars will fly or something. I don't know. Would it? Hold on. Let me remove the speed tag. Let me see if that is what affecting the space at the bottom, or if it's just my imagination. Okay. Future of AI, cars might fly. Let's just leave it like this. I think I won't like it better like this. What do you guys think? I think it's better this way. So what's the future of AI? Cars might fly, this and this. So click on read more. Yeah, it takes us to the post. Yeah, I think I like it like this though. It makes sense. So now you can see that this also appears here as well, and I don't want that. So let's make that go away. So here we're gonna say if not post dot pk equals okay, I see what's going on. So for if not, and let's see if this is gonna work. Related blog posts. So if not a equals post dot pk. So if not, you know what, let's do this. Let's call this, instead of calling this, so instead of calling this post, let's just call this p. If not p.pk equals post.pk. So we have p.title, we have p here as well. No, sorry, post p, excuse me. So let's come over here and refresh. Let's see what happens. Yes, so we don't get to see this once again. We only get to see post stats, obviously, So if we're in this page or we're in this post detail, we're not going to see that post appear here. We'll see other posts except from the one that we're currently reading. All right, so that's settled. The next thing we're going to do now is we're going to do search functionality as well. So to do search is very easy. So let's just close this out. All right, so we're going to come over to not post. Let's come over to this one, views.py. Make sure this is recording. So let's scroll all the way down here. And so we're going to say search underscore posts. I'm going to take in requests. So here we're just going to say queue, or instead of queue, we're going to say query. And this is going to be requests dot get, and here we're going to say queue, right? And we're going to say, all right, so we're going to search post dot objects dot filter, and what we're going to filter is title, I contains, and this is going to be query, and here we're going to say context. So context, here we have query, and here we have query, here we have results, and here we have results. And return render requests. And here is going to be posts or posts, and this is going to be search underscore posts dot HTML. And we're also going to pass in the context. So what is happening here now is very simple. So we're going to say we want to get this queue from the browser. We want to search the results, or want to search the posts, and we want to see if this query exists inside of post table. And this I contain basically means that we don't care if it matches word for word, or if it matches the uppercase or lowercase or whatever. We just want to get that query from the database and then display. So we're going to come over to URLs here, and then we're just going to do search post. So we're going to do this, and path here we're going to say search posts. All right, so here is going to be views. So it's search posts. The name is going to be search. Okay, let's just search. Let's leave it at search. So let's come over to base.html here. So we need to look for that our search button again, or search. Yeah. So okay, so here we have to do action. Well, we'll first of all do method, and then we'll just no, not post. We'll say get, and then so for the action, we're going to do URL, and then it's going to go over to search, and type search, placeholder search, and what else? So here we can just do name, or let's just not touch that, just the name here, and I'll just say search. Or sorry, I'll do queue rather, not search. So queue, that is what is going to get the query, and everything looks good, right? So we need to have a search result here, or search posts. So we'll say search underscore post.html. So let me see if that was what we called it in views. So search post, cool. So we'll come over to author's post. We'll just copy everything here. Control C to copy, Control V to paste. All posts related to, so all posts related to, and then here we're going to call this query, right? So we'll say query, and we'll just do like this, right? And here we'll say for in post, let's see what we call that here. So, right, for post results. So let's see how that works when we come over to our browser and we refresh. So we come over here and we say 2090 and we hit search. What happens? Now you can see all posts related to 2090. Obviously, you see this. So we do something like chili. Nothing relates to chili, and that's fine. I'm not disappointed. So let's do AI as well. You can see what's the feature of AI. Basically, we have read more, and there you can see related blog posts here, and you can read more as well too if you want to read more. Okay, that's fine. So we have the main functionalities that we need. All right, so if I should click here, obviously we have all our posts as well, and everything looks good so far. Now I should click on, now I need to make this functional, right? If I should click on dash, if I should go to dashboard, see my dashboard here. Your dashboard read posts takes me to all posts. Then here I can just have create posts basically, right? And yeah, so I can create a new post if I want to. All right, that's fine. So let's make this very functional. All right, so we'll come over to base.html. All right, so let's come over to this place. I want this place to take us to home. I also want this to take us to home page. And then here I want to probably say, so let me just copy this and I'll put this here. So for this place, I want to say maybe, you know what? Let me just take this drop down. Let me just take cancel this out, right? And do drop down. So here I'll just do active. All right. So drop down, I'll say posts. So here I'll say create posts or add posts. Add posts. Here I'll say manage posts. And basically, so I think that's that. So I'll just take this URL, add posts. And here I'll just say URL my posts. What else? I can also take this as well too. Control C, Control V. So here, what am I doing? Sorry. I have to take everything. Sorry, so sorry. So Control C. No, I'll just do this. I'll just do I'll just do accounts, right? So here I would say update profile. Here I would say change, I think change password. And here I'll just say logout. All right, so this would obviously take me to URL and then log me out. And obviously this is going to be change password. And this is going to be update profile, right? Disable, here I can just say the logged in user, which is request dot user dot first name. All right, this is give me the logged in user's first name. And yeah, so I come over here and I will refresh. You can see posts, add post, something else. Let's remove that something else from there. I'll just clear that out quickly. All right, so come over here and I will refresh. You can see where it says add posts. Click on manage posts. Obviously, these are all my posts, right? Add posts. I can add a new post here. Manage posts. These are all my posts I've been able to add so far. Accounts, I can update profile. Obviously, nothing is there, and let's make something there. So I'll just come over to add a post, right? I'll just copy this, come to update, come over to accounts. Let me close this out. Come over to accounts, drop this down, come over to, where's the place? Change password, right? And I'll paste this in here. Here, I'll just say change your password. All right. So here we are going to do password two. No, we're going to say new password one. All right. So here we're going to say enter password. And here we're going to say confirm new password. So enter new password, confirm new password, and this is going to be new password 2. All right. So instead of content, let's just copy this. So Control X to cut rather. Come over here and just paste this in here. So I'll just say old password, and here I'll just say old password. All right. So I'll come over here as well. I would take this out of the picture. All right, so here we have submit as well. So let's see how that looks like when I refresh. Oh, that's update profile. So sorry, let me go back to where it says change password. This is how change password would look like, right? So let me quickly do update profile. So I can come over here and copy this, come to update profile, and I'll paste in here. So here it just says update your profile, update your profile. And the only thing we're updating in profile, if I can remember, is just first name, right? So first name. So here I'm just going to enter first underscore name and I can delete the rest. All right. So let me be sure. Account form.py. So only first name I'm expecting to update. So if I just come over here and click on update profile, you can see first name. If I change this to test 38 and click on submit, you can see test 38, right? But let me change it to 1. Update profile, and I'll just do test 1. Now submit, you can see this has updated to test 1. Cool. So I want to do something here as well. So I want an instance where, oh, hold on. So I need to also do dashboard. So instead of home, I can just do dashboard. So let me just change that to dashboard very quickly. So instead of home, we can just say dashboard. I hope I'm getting everything correct. So we'll do dashboard there. All right, let's see. So add all posts, author posts, my posts, post details, post per category, all the posts. Okay, I think I have everything covered. So refresh. Cool. Now I want to do something, right? If you are logged in, I want you to be able to see dashboard, post, accounts, and this. If you're not logged in, I want you to just see Django blog and obviously see this, right? So let's see how we can do that. All right, so we can come over here and where we have dashboard, we can start from dashboard here. So we can just say if requests dot user dot is authenticated. You're going to see all of this all up till here. So we'll just say end if. So if I refresh, obviously I'll still see everything as it is here. But if I should go back here, if I should copy this link and then open an incognito window and paste in here, what do I see? All right, so this is what I see as a guest user. So I can only see the logo. If I click on the logo, obviously it takes me to the home page and I can see search as well too, right? So you can see here say start creating. If I just click on start creating, it takes me to the register page. Now I can go back here and I can read blog posts basically. I'll click here and I'll click on read more. So if I click on read more, obviously I'll see I can read the post, but I can't like the post. If I just click on like post, it's going to take me to login, right? Cool. So I can't like that post. Let's see. Let's see. So I can obviously see all the posts for test one, right? So all posts created by test one. Do you know what? Let's go over here first. Come over to views.py inside of posts. All right. So let's look for where it says like a post. So if posts like a post, okay, that's fine. That's actually fine. That's not too much there. So let's come over here. So we can see all posts by test one, right? We can also see posts by category. So all posts for science category. You can also see that as well too. We can also search for posts. We can do something like fly and then hit enter. You can see all posts related to fly. I can still read more as well too as an anonymous user, right? So that is how this is going to look like for an anonymous user basically in Django. So if I just come over here and I said, you know what, I don't want people to be able to see this, my posts, probably this one. I want to come over to action, probably I'll view post. Say I view the post, I'm like, okay, I don't want people to be able to see this post, right? I can come over here and click on action, updates, and I'm like, okay, this is drafts true. Click on save. So this will be taken away. When I come over here and I refresh, you can see this would not appear here anymore. But let me just do some quick checks and see. Let's come over to views and let's scroll all the way down. Let's see something. So here we have all posts, right? So say if draft is false, all right, let's do something. So if draft is equals false, let's do this and let's see what happens. If I just come over here and refresh, I wouldn't be able to see that post, right? If I go back, all right, let's just be logical with this so that this wouldn't disgrace us. Now you can see draft post, right? If I should come over here and I click on updates and I do false updates, right? Would I be able to see this here? Let me see. Refresh. Yes, I can see that. Okay, that's fine. So what if we do something, right? What if we now for this scheduled date, right? So we're saying that the scheduled date must have passed for it for the post to show, right? So let's try something. Let's come over to this place and then let's create a new post and see what happens. So if I should click on post and then I click on add post, probably do something like religion. We'll say, could there be something more than this? All right, okay, something more than this. And for this one, let's just do, let me try and get that lorem ipsum again. Or instead of me going too much, I can just come over here to dashboard, right? I just click on manage post, actually view posts. I can just copy this. So I'll copy everything here, Control C, come back here, and I would paste this one here. All right, so is it draft false? All right, so let's leave this draft to false and let's do schedule date. So I want to schedule this to for tomorrow, right? And I'll click on submit. So what happens? So should my readers be able to see this post? So let's see how that works. So come over here and let's refresh. And yes, we're able to see the posts. Okay, so there's something obviously wrong. All right, so let's see what's going on. So we have scheduled dates. This wasn't correctly spelled. So scheduled dates, let's see. Come over here, refresh. So scheduled dates, cannot resolve scheduled dates. So let's see. Come over to models.py. That's how I spelled it. My bad. Let's come over here and let's paste this in here back. Or let's just do Ctrl Z. But it should be, yeah, scheduled. Anyway, that's fine. So we have greater than time zone. So why is it then posting? All right, let's do this, right? So let's remove the dates part and let's see. So it's still showing up. Okay. Okay. So scheduled dates is greater than greater than. All right, so let's do LTE less than, right? Sometimes this thing confuses me a lot. I'm not going to lie. So let's do less than. Let's see what happens. So refresh. This goes away, right? So now let's create another post that is for today. Let's see what happens. So I should come over here and so let me come over here. Or no, let's come over to my posts and I'll do this add posts and I'll probably do politics. Probably I'll do Donald Trump, the richest president ever, right? And I'll come over here and I would, let me just copy this again, Control C, come over here and I'll paste. So let's probably do release schedule date. So let's say it was meant to have come out on 18th. Let's just put 18 there and let's do false, click on submit. So let's see if this is going to show up when I refresh. Yes, so you can see this shows up basically, right? So that should be LTE and not GTE. It confuses me sometimes. But that's fine. So let's create another post and let's schedule it to come out today. Let's see what happens. So click on post, add post, category, let's do Africa, and then we'll say the biggest continent ever. I don't know, something good. We'll paste this in here. So let's say it's meant to come out today. So we'll just click on today and draft false. So click on submit. And you can see how this looks like. But I think we're going to fix this very quickly. But let's see. Let's see what happens here. When I click here, does it show up? Yes, it does show up. Oh, so I need to also touch on this. You see it's off. So let's come over to, I think, all posts. All right, so let's come over to this where we have row. Let me try this and see if it's going to work. So row cards. Let me see if it's going to work. It doesn't work. Ah, okay. So let's just do the normal. So we'll just say card and we'll say MB3. All right. So come over here and let's refresh. MB3. Okay, that's fine. That is fine. Okay, so we'll have post here as well. All right, that's actually fine. Let's come over here and we're going to do some things in post detail. So let's just remove this, remove this, remove this, remove this. Let's come over to post details. So here that says small. Let's just do like a div tag or something, and let's add it here. See what happens. Come over here. We'll refresh. Cool. So this makes good sense, right? So we just have the read more. We can click on read more. And yeah, we can come over here and you guys can ever like post, like again. You already like this post. Okay. Click on Django blogs, takes us to the main blog, main site, basically where we can read all the blog posts. All right, so we can change our password if we want to, update password if we want to, update profile rather, manage posts. We can say, okay, probably want to delete this guy. I'll click on actions, so click on delete, and you can see that's deleted, right? And yeah, so that's how that works. So let's see the experience of creating another user. So we'll come over here. Maybe this guy wants to start creating blog posts, and he's like, okay, click on start creating, and then we can just do. No, let's do test two. I'll say test two at email.com. So we'll enter password here, and we'll also confirm password as well. Click on sign up. Okay, so here we'll say test two at email.com, and we would enter credential sign in. And now this person should be able to see everything, right? So we can come over to manage posts. We shouldn't obviously see anything because we have not created any posts, right? Come over to accounts, sorry, to posts, manage, sorry, add posts. We can add our post here, probably say technology, digital AI is the future of blogging. And come over here and we're going to say post content. Let's post this in here. So release dates, probably we'll just release it today as well. So draft false, click on submit. This is how it looks like, right? So everything looks good. As you come over to Django blog, you can see digital AI is the future of blogging, right? So author, there's two. I can read more and everything looks good. I can look at all test two posts, right? Look at technology, look at all technology posts basically. And let's see. So again, I can come over here. Probably I can come over to what's that one again? the future of AI. Read more. You can see one like. I can like this post as well. Now it's 2 likes, right? If I like again, it tells me I've already liked this post. Okay, so yeah, basically that's just that for this, and you can build on this anyways. You can add your own functionality to make this way better. It depends on your use case. But yeah, this is all there is for now. And happy coding. Bye for now.